Good evening, CornBelter fans, wherever you may be. We are live here in Clinton, Iowa, taking a 2.5-hour trip just across the Mississippi River and crossing those state lines. I'm Evan Schmeiser. It's a privilege to be bringing you the action on the Colonels Collegiate YouTube page. We're coming down the stretch here in the first half of the Prospect League season as the normal CornBelters are set to do battle with the Clinton Lumber Kings. So the CornBelters, they have a lot of work to do, and they're going to need a lot of help. Still very much mathematically alive to try and win the first half as they come into tonight trailing the Danville Dans by 3.5 games for that division crown. After losing 10-3 to them at Danville just a couple nights ago. On the other hand of things, you have the Lumber Kings, who come in virtually tied with the Illinois Valley Pistol Shrimp to win their division. They come in even with 8 losses, but with playing an uneven amount of games. They had a game earlier this week that got suspended, not going to be made up until we get into July, where, of course, the standings reset. So they're trying to win a division crown as well and host a playoff game, host that opening round playoff game. We're set to go. Kyle Lehman on the mound for the Lumber Kings. Tarek Thompson-Allen in that familiar leadoff spot settles into the left-handed box. Lehman out of the windup, and the first pitch of the night is down low. 6:30 Central Standard Time, 76 degrees here in Clinton. Overcast skies as Thompson-Allen fouls the next one up and out of play. Similar to Danville, here at Nelson Core Field, a significant overhanging grandstands as the 1-1 is smoked into center. Blake Timmons goes back towards the left center alleyway. He leaps, and he's just able to make the catch in front of the wall. Tarek Thompson-Allen, who's been swinging the bat very consistently with a loud out to start the night. We'll take a look at the rest of the lineup. Will Flanagan's in the second hole. Landon Johnson, that familiar third spot. Chase Mason hits cleanup. He'll do the catching tonight. Zach Zykowski moves to the 5 hole. Will Jesse will be the DH. Griffin Brown hits 7th. Tyler Thompson will be the 8th man. And the shortstop, Eddie Letamendi, rounds out the lineup. First pitch changeup to the left-hander Flanagan, misses outside. Will's been very consistent. 354, 3 home runs as he takes a called strike. The 16 RBIs leads the team. Does Lehman work fast? The next pitch is smoked right at the third baseman, Ben Swales, who makes a lunging catch. So 2 missiles off the first 2 bats of the CornBelters, but it's 2 outs in the first. Landon Johnson will be the hitter. Well, with how fast Lehman works, I better introduce him. So Kyle Lehman out of Mount Mercy University. As the first pitch, breaking ball is lined into center field. That's going to drop in front of Timmons for a hit. 2-out base runner for the CornBelters and 3 absolute rockets off the first 3 batters. Chase Mason will be the hitter. And as for Lehman, standing at 6'3", he's a towering guy out there. Entering his 5th season at Mount Mercy, able to get an extra year thanks to a broken hand along the way. His 4th year back with the Lumber Kings. Curveball misses inside to Mason. And Kyle Lehman's, his only start of the summer so far was excellent. Earned the win, went 8 shutout innings, as the next one is popped up by Mason, right side towards the first base bag, and it's the second baseman, Chase Womack, who makes the catch in foul territory. So that retires the side. No runs, a hit, and a man left for the CornBelters. The Lumber Kings will take their first swings. I'll actually keep it right here. Fortunately, you have the benefit of not having to show any ads just to make sure I finish introducing things. So Lehman was a bit late to actually join the team this go, at least, or hop on the bus for his 4th summer. So his first start came on June 17th, of course, 10 days ago. 8 innings, 4 hits, and actually a single earned run. Pardon me, I misread that one. 7 strikeouts and only 1 walk. And as we saw a second ago, he works extremely fast. Now, flipping over to the bottom of the first, Slater Wilcox gets the start for the CornBelters. And he's had himself a very strong summer to get things started. 1-0, this will be his 5th start. 15 in the 3rd innings, a 4.70 ERA to go along with 20 strikeouts. And he does keep the walks down too. 10 walks, that's not bad. That's fair. That's fairly good, especially from what we've seen at times. His previous outing coming a week ago at the Burlington Bees, it did not go well. Got hit around a bit, 5 earned on 5 hits and 2 in the 3rd. But the previous outing a week prior at Champion City went 4 shutout innings, allowing just 6 hits and 2 walks. And then the outing before that, 4 innings, 3 runs. So 1 clunker really to go with 2 excellent starts and then 1 in-between kind of start. And boy, the CornBelters they need a stopper, at least on the mound. Now, the bullpen on one hand has been amazing. You know, they almost get overshadowed with the fact that this has been a top 5 offense, whether you look at batting average, whether you look at slugging, and it's really been that way since the first week of the season. But since the first week where the bullpen did blow a few games late, it's been a rock, a very reliable force as we're moving into the middle stages and soon to the second half of the summer. But anyway, just looking at the starting pitching in recent outings, the last 5 starts, and these have all been different guys. The ERA has been 11. It's been 11 in 18 innings. A whip of 2.61. So Slater Wilcox and everybody in CornBelter Nation could use some quick innings and some zeros to get some good momentum back going. As the CornBelters try to snap a 3-game losing streak, Will Stark will get us started for the Lumber Kings. Right on left the matchup, and the first pitch of the night for Wilcox is delivered outside. Slater working out of the stretch exclusively. Lumber Kings on the third base side, going all white. And the 1-0 pitch is outside, 2-0 the count. CornBelters with the green tops, yellow lettering, and gray bottoms on the first base dugout. Netting surrounds, let's put it this way, not a lot of fans are going to get foul balls. Fouled straight back into that netting, 2-1 the count. You have the grandstands that hang over, pretty similar to Danville, just not as much of a fire hazard. It's an older ballpark than Danville. Nelson Core Field has been around since 1937, and looking at the pictures in the front office, virtually unchanged outside of some advertising stuff. 2-1 the count, a deep breath from Wilcox, and he goes home. A little low, 3-1 the count. The netting extends all the way to the middle of the dugouts, and it goes all the way up to the top of the grandstands. So a little space to get foul balls towards the end of the bleachers, and then a lot of room that surrounds the field once you pass the bleachers. Outside in a leadoff walk. As Chase Womack will settle them, we'll take a look at the rest of the Lumber King lineup. Womack will be followed by Clay Jacobs. Cougar Cook will be the cleanup man, followed by Ryeth Peterson. James Hackett will be the DH. He'll hit 6. Ben Swales, the 7-man. Noah Thine does the catching tonight. That's going to be a big storyline. And Blake Timmons rounds up the lineup, hitting 9th. First pitch outside to Womack. Chase comes in hitting .310. No home runs, 12 RBIs. And a check on the runner. Stark dives in safely. Will leads the Lumber Kings with 7 stolen bases. Kind of a similar situation. Another throw over. He dives back out of the tag from Johnson. Both the Lumber Kings and CornBelters don't run a whole lot. They rank towards the bottom third in the league in that category, but they do rank 5th and 6th respectively in batting average and virtually the same spot in the other significant offensive categories. Kind of similar with Tarek Thompson-Allen, who's 10 for 10 in stolen bases. Now what's going on here? They're digging out the hole where the first base bag is. Didn't really go back in properly. So a bit of a delay right now. They're going to have to call out someone from the grounds crew. Well, there's the general manager, Nate. He's out with, what is that tool called? It's a very familiar tool for anyone who's been around the game. I guess that makeshift shovel for those little base holes. So he's going to clean that out. It's a very large ballpark. Kind of 325 down the right field line, 330 to left. Then you have a long stretch in left where it only juts out to 335. Then you get to the point where the chain link fence ends towards the alleyway, and then you get the 16-foot high wooden wall. You don't want to run into that thing. It gets to 395 in dead center. There's a 401 sign in the right center power alley. As it looks like Nate has just finished cleaning out the base. Well, I don't know what exactly happened, whether it was on the dive back or if it had just been like that, but anytime anyone touches the base, it's moving around. So Nate's doing a little more digging. Womack had initially dug back into the box. Yeah, no turf tonight. No turf, as Wilcox is throwing a couple warm-up pitches. So it's very deep in center, extremely deep in the alleyways, and a little more standard down the lines. Even watching batting practice, I saw Griffin Brown hit a couple moonshots, or balls that looked like moonshots to left center, but the fact that those power rallies are still around 400, he barely even hit the warning track on some of those. It's a very humid night. It's fully overcast. The lights are already on. Unfortunately, the lights are a little more standard. They actually light up the field compared to the Danville lights. Actually, my phone's indicating that there's a light drizzle going on. I can't quite tell that. At least all the fans in the grandstands are going to be dry, myself included. This is one heck of a delay with that first base bag. Now they have another guy out taking care of things. Wilcox throwing some more warm-ups. So we're in the bottom of the first, no score, and the leadoff man, Will Stark, drew a walk. Then a couple pickoff attempts from Wilcox, and then some dirt got in the hole in the first base bag, and they've been trying to dig that out to make sure the bag goes back in properly. This is one heck of a delay. I wish I had a timer on this. This has been several minutes. You have multiple guys, the general manager, ground crew guys coming in for this. Landon John, I got to talk to Landon about this afterwards at some point. He's just taking it all in. So is the base runner, Will Stark. I guess I'll introduce the CornBelter fielders. That's a good idea. Griffin Brown, Tarek Thompson-Allen, Tyler Thompson, left to right. Will Flanagan, Eddie Letamendi, Zach Zykowski, Landon Johnson, third to first. Chase Mason's doing the catching. I knew it would take this long. And, of course, Slater Wilcox on the mound. Of course, if I knew it took this long, I probably would have told another story. For anyone who was able to listen to the tales of my pig racing career that's gone on for the better part of 3 off seasons. They're still at it with first base. They've put it in and taken it out multiple times. Looks like they might actually be putting a little bit of dirt back in now. Guess it's all about trying to make that puzzle piece fit properly. This is truly amazing. The 3 outfielders are all gathered in center talking amongst themselves. Now the third baseman Flanagan, he's going to go hang out with Letamendi, who's hanging around second. And we're in the bottom of the first, the second batter in a scoreless game. And we do have a 2.5-hour bus ride home after this. I don't necessarily want to be here until 11. Granted, if we win, that makes it a little bit better. A lot better. It's a pretty good crowd tonight. It is Thirsty Thursday here at the ballpark. If I remember correctly, $3 draft beers. Well, and I'm relieved that at least there is not a live band. There's an organ here, which is a lot more... Not that these guys weren't good. They did a good job. But they had a band camp at Danville a couple days ago. And between innings, or at least the innings where our guys were warming up, and I don't blame them for this, but they had the band going. And with the way everything overhangs, all the noise stays in. And we were right on top of home plate. At least that's how their press box was set up. We're pretty close here, but a little bit, we're raised up a little more. And I actually have a window to separate me a bit. I do have it open. But that was so loud. It was so loud 2 nights ago. I had to put my headphones back on to have them act as earmuffs. The music was good. It's just loud, and there's a good reason why I don't go to concerts. They're still working on first. Let's see. You have the GM Nate out there. You have a coach out there. 2 coaches, actually. Josh Foreman, our third base coach, is out there. A couple grounds crew guys. Now Landon is just playing catch with the rest of the infielders. And Slater Wilcox is throwing some more warm-ups. A sizable delay in a scoreless game coming into the second batter of the game. It's a 1-0 count for what it's worth. And we started exactly 6:30. It's now 6:45. So well over a 5-minute delay. I mean, this is just astounding. It really is. Let's see, what else can I talk about? Well, depending on how this goes, I've had a few, let's see, I told a story about the women at one of my pig racing events who entered my tent and changed the baby's diaper in the middle of my show. I told you guys about that one. There's a lot of good pig racing stories. There was one time, now of course after each show, we bring Strawberry, our picture pig. She runs up to her spot at the podium. I've trained a few of them to do that. And she gets ready for pictures, and we sell our stuff at the boutique. But at this same Sacramento or near Sacramento pumpkin farm, it's a bit of a longer journey to get from where the pigs are in the stage up the hill to our boutique. And I realized in the middle of all the selling that there were a couple pigs that were just out wandering, and they were not in their pen. One was behind the pens, and it was a pretty big pet, like outdoor pen situation. Anyone can come up and look at them and even pet them. And then another was hanging out in the infield in front of the stage. And then I realized, oh no, I left the gate open. That's a nightmare scenario, you guys. Those pigs are everything. They're the moneymaker. And behind us, it was many, many rows of trees. Oh, they had some kind of nut there. It's very common in the area. Apricots, walnuts, something along those lines. And then you had the big pumpkin patch right next to where we were too. And so I had my eyes, and then we finished up. And I retrieved the one pig. We have 10 back there, or 9 with Strawberry doing pictures. I retrieved the one pretty quickly. Then thank the good Lord that the one who was eating pumpkins just came back towards the pen, so I was able to get them back there pretty easily. So crisis averted, and we still made the money. Now, after all said and done, first base is officially ready for play again, and Chase Womack will dig back in, and you guys got to hear a second pig story. In the grand scheme of things, we all win. Stark, who has stolen 7 bags, has a huge lead. 1-0 the count, scoreless game. Check swing on a changeup, and Womack went around. And the count's 1-1. That was amazing. I have never seen a delay like that. But of course, first base has to be playable. The 1-1 pitch out of the stretch, outside. And Wilcox, his stuff looks good, especially the off-speed pitches. But he's been missing towards that right-handed box. So now he's adjusted. He's towards the first base side. The runner starts and stops, and the pitch is up and away again. Now 3-1. Nobody out. The leadoff man, Will Stark, at first. Outfielders are not playing all that deep. Well, actually, Thompson Allen, he usually plays shallow. This is probably a little deeper than when he plays at home. The 3-1 pitch misses down low with the runner going. Back-to-back walks to start the night for Wilcox. And out of the chute, some trouble for the CornBelters with the Lumber Kings threatening. It'll be the third man, Clay Jacobs. Jacobs comes in hitting .375. He has not had enough at-bats to qualify amongst the league leaders. He would be in the top 5. 6 for 10 in the 2 games the Lumber Kings played against the Aviators 2 and 3 days ago. They split that mini-series. They won the first game 9-6 in a game that was decided late. First pitch on the inside corner to Jacobs, right on left the matchup. Then the second game, things got wonky. Both of their catchers had to leave the game with season-ending injuries. The 0-1 pitch is just inside. Wilcox wanted it. So Mason McCurdy exited with a broken nose after getting hit in the face by a pitch while hitting. And Braden Buchanan ended up sliding to try and cut a wild throw off, as that one is smoked but knocked down by Landon Johnson on one hop. He takes it to the bag himself. Both runners advance. Excellent defensive play right there. Now 1 out in the first. Stark to third and Womack to second. So I talked to the Lumber Kings broadcaster, good friend of mine, Andres, and he didn't get a good look at it just the way things are set up. So Buchanan slid up towards the backstop on the third base side to try and cut off a wild throw going to third, and then he just didn't get up after that. So they're calling it a leg injury for now. He'll have an MRI. So the third stringer, Noah Thine, is catching tonight. First pitch taken down low. A lot of lefties, at least in the top of this Lumber King lineup. The CornBelters are playing the infield all the way back. They'll concede a run with men on second and third. Fastball, and I don't know where that one missed. It looked to be a pretty good pitch. I guess it must have been high. Mason even flinched when going to throw the ball back. 2-0 the count. Wilcox out of the stretch. Short leads from the runners. And the 2-0 is hit high in the air down the right field line. Tyler Thompson giving chase, and it goes foul. That ball was way up in the air. It was hard to tell if it would have been gone off the bat, but that would have been a home run if it stayed fair. So 2-2 the count. For now, just a long strike. As Thompson now moves a few steps over towards the line. And the 2-2 delivery is hit in the air to left. That's down the line. Brown, a long run for him. And he's able to get there as he runs into the fence. Both runners will tag. And Stark crosses the plate. A fantastic play, though, from Griffin Brown. Boy, did he cover a lot of ground. And now 1 away. Womack to third. He did make the catch in foul territory, but especially with it being early, I think it's a great idea to take the out, even with the run scoring. Try and prevent any kind of bigger rally. 2 away, and Cougar Cook will bat with Womack at third, and a fastball misses way upstairs. Not crazy deep down the lines, but again, a world of room in the alleys and center field. Wilcox, who slowed it down a bit. Deep breath on the 1-0, and he goes home. A liner, and it's going to get past Letamendi into left for a hit. Womack crosses the plate. It's now 2-0 Lumber Kings. Cook with his 10th RBI of the season. So the CornBelters will have to play from behind, at least to start tonight. And that's just part of it. Wilcox has fallen behind a fair amount of the hitters here, as Cook is dancing off the bag. First pitch fouled back by Peterson. Of course, if you're falling behind, especially to a top 6 lineup in the middle of the order, it's tougher sailing. Much tougher sailing. So a chance to work out of it. 2 outs, 2-0 Lumber Kings. And a changeup misses outside. Anyway, just to finish up with the second game, second out of 2 games with the Lumber Kings against the Aviators. They were leading late as that one is cranked into right center. Thompson on the run. Was he able to hang on? Yes, he did. A sliding attempt from Tyler Thompson. He covered virtually a country mile into the right center field alleyway, just shy of the warning track, and he surely saved another run. We'll head to the top of the second. The Lumber Kings leading 2-0. welcome back to the Cardinals Collegiate League YouTube, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Evan Schmeiser. Top of the second, Zach Zykowski, Will Jeske, and Griffin Brown will be the hitters. Kyle Lehman back out to work the second, with the Lumber Kings leading 2-0. So anyway, the Lumber Kings allowed 4 runs to come across in the bottom of the 9th in Game 2 against the Aviators. Ended up getting walked off. But once both catchers went down, they did not bring their third stringer on that road trip. First pitch curveball taken inside by Zykowski. So they essentially, I wasn't able to get the name of the guy who went back there. As Zykowski ropes it into center, it's going to drop in there for a hit. Already 4 very hard hit balls from the CornBelters. See if they can find some holes this inning. So he threw a guy in there who maybe he did a bit of catching in travel ball or high school. And from what I heard, he just didn't have that same framing ability or ability to receive the ball. So that, of course, makes a lot more sense with the Lumber Kings blowing up in that 9th inning. Will Jeske, the hitter, and the pitch misses inside. A one-hop throw to first by Noah Thine, who is the third-string catcher. Zykowski, not a prolific base stealer. The next offering in for a called strike. Oh, I stand corrected. Zykowski stolen 7 bags. He's not the fleetest of foot, but he's picked his opportunities well. Another check on him. Lehman's definitely concerned about him running. Lumber Kings set up to turn 2 on this overcast evening. In case you're just joining us, we basically had a 10-minute delay in the bottom of the first with trying to dig the dirt out of the first base bag. Jeske, the DH tonight, hitting .303. He went 2 for 3 yesterday to extend his now 7-game hit streak. Zykowski dives back just ahead of the tag. Lehman initially caught him between steps. And the right fielder, Clay Jacobs, playing awfully deep for the righty Jeske. First pitch curveball misses way inside. Or next pitch curveball, the count's now 2-1. Will Stark, Blake Timmons, Clay Jacobs going left to right. As Lehman set up the stretch. Oh, and they have Zykowski picked off. The throw by the first baseman Cook, though, goes into left field. Lehman, who has a pretty good move, whether Zykowski was running on the pitch, his lead's been pretty aggressive. They caught him. They had him in a rundown, and Cook just sailed the throw towards the shortstop, Peterson, and it went into left. So that's going to be a stolen base for Zach Zykowski. I'm pretty sure they'll score it that way. That would be his 8th of the summer. The 2-1 pitch, a high chopper towards the middle, handled by the second baseman, Chase Womack. Off-balance throw, it's off the glove of Cook. Holding up at third is Zykowski, and Jeske is safe on an error. The second, well, depending on the scoring, it's an error for Cougar Cook, but his second misplay of the night. And it's 1st and 3rd with nobody out for the CornBelters. So right away, a chance to even things up. Griffin Brown will be the hitter. Actually, it'd be a good idea if I checked out these live stats. That'll tell me exactly how things are scored. Right on right, the matchup, and a first pitch foul back into the screen by Brown. Okay, so they have 2 errors on the live stat. Let's see. They're going to give Zykowski a stolen base. They did not give him a stolen base, so an error all the way. So 2 errors tonight for Cougar Cook. Curveball outside. Ben Swales, Ryeth Peterson, Chase Womack, Cougar Cook. 1st to 3rd. Noah Thine behind the plate and Kyle Lehman on the mound for his 2nd inning. And thanks to some bad defense, in a lot of trouble. Curveball way inside. 2-1. Jeske at first. Zykowski at third, who singled to start the inning. The corners are in. The middle infielders are set up to turn 2. 2-1 the count. A deep breath from Lehman. Swung on and missed by Brown. A bit late at a fastball. Griffin comes in hitting .235, still in the early stages of his CornBelter career. 2-2 the count, and the pitch is fouled away. Talking to Griffin before the ball game, he actually went 6 weeks without playing a game from the end of his regular season up until he made his debut on June 16th. Check on Jeske at first. He dives ahead of the tag. Yeah, so it's interesting to make me think about. Yeah, there's a lot of guys all around the Prospect League and frankly summer ball who went a long period of time without playing between seasons. A curveball misses just high. 3-2 the count to Brown, who comes in with 4 RBIs, no home runs yet. He does have a double, as this is his 8th game. Lehman settling a 3-2, and the pitch is hit in the air. Down the right field line, Clay Jacobs on the run, and it's going to drop foul into the bullpen. Not a ton of room over there. And once you get past the dugout, you have the tarp and a bit of a chain link, and then you get, a clubhouse that's all concrete. And you have padding on it, but that's something where, especially in summer ball, no one should run into that. That would hurt a lot worse than running into the wooden walls that cover most of the outfield. 3-2. Jeske does not go, and the pitch is just upstairs again. Great at bat from Griffin Brown. It loads the bases with nobody out. And the first free pass issued tonight by Kyle Lehman. So Zykowski singled. He got picked off initially, but reached second on an error. Then Jeske reached on an error, and Griffin Brown just walked. Tyler Thompson will be the hitter. It's his 4th game back in the lineup after working back from a groin strain. He swings the first pitch and fouls it into the netting. The CornBelters, after being very selective in their 10-3 loss against the Dans, have come out swinging early. And a lot of good-looking aggressive swings. As they trail 2-0, Lehman, opting to work out of the stretch, steps off. After a long hold, he's set on the 1-1, or the 0-1, and he goes home. Fouled straight back again, 0-2. Thompson might have wanted that back. He got a curveball that caught a lot of the plate. Tyler hitting 111 overall. No extra base hits, 6 RBIs to his credit. He's behind 0-2 as he calls time. With the bases loaded, nobody out. The Lumber Kings put up 2 runs in their half, and what's going on here? Wow, a pitch clock violation. Now, we knew the Prospect League has worked off of the NCAA 20-second action clock, but it's the first pitch clock violation I've actually seen called. And he slowed it down. And I've seen a good amount of times, the count's now 1-2, I've seen a good amount of times pitchers really slowing it down. That's the home plate umpire, Dom Umland. The 1-2 pitch is fouled away again. Larry Allen's at third, Scott Titrington at first. Also the first time I've seen a 3-man umpire crew this season. And look, he made the call right away. That buzzer he had went off. It seems like it's been one of those things where umpires have been very subjective whether they want to enforce the pitch clock. Swung on and hit in the air, foul down the right field line and out of play. Good at bat from Thompson now. This will be the 23rd pitch of the night for Kyle Lehman after working a pretty quick first inning. Corner infielders are in to get the out at the plate. Middle infielders looking to turn 2. Lehman set again at the belt. The 1-2. Fouled straight back into the netting one more time. Thompson making Lehman work. Bit of a breeze starting to pick up now. Looks like it's blowing a little bit in from left field. Lehman, after picking up 1 pitch clock violation, deals the 1-2 again. And a fastball just low. I'm not going to lie, we'll take it, but I thought that was a pretty good pitch. I don't think Thompson was looking fastball. So it evens the count. See if he can make that one hurt. The Lumber Kings have already committed 2 errors this inning from the first baseman, Cougar Cook. Lehman said again, the 2-2 pitch. Curveball, hit out of play, foul. As the pitches continue to mount. Boy, that'd feel great if Thompson's able to deliver a hit. The left fielder, Will Stark, is playing very deep. 2 runs should easily score on a single. The 2-2 again. That's in the air to right. It's pretty well hit. Jacobs goes back. He'll make the catch. Tagging is Zykowski. He'll score. Jeske goes to third, and the throw comes into second. Terrific at bat from Tyler Thompson. His 5th RBI of the summer, and it's now a 2-1 game. And only the first out here in the top of the second. This is a CornBelter team that is in the bottom quarter of the league as far as striking out. They've been very good at putting the ball in play. Just saw that right there out of our 8-hole hitter. Letamendi will bat first and third, 1 out, and he takes a curveball for a strike. Jeske at third, Brown at first, and Griffin runs very well. The 0-1 pitch, and fouled off the catcher Thine. Of course, Thine now the primary catcher with the 2 other guys out for the season with injury. Blake Timmons is the backup. He was signed within the last 2 days out of North Dakota State. Letamendi swings and misses at a high fastball. He goes down on 3 pitches. 2 outs here in the second. And Lehman trying to work out of this, only allowing the 1. Thompson Allen will bat as the lineup flips over. And he lined out sharply to center his first time up. Center fielder Timmons playing him pretty deep, showing him that respect. A hit will even this game up. First pitch curveball outside. Thompson Allen came in hitting .281. Tied for the team lead with 3 home runs, 11 RBIs. Comes into play 8 for his last 22. As he awaits the 1-0, Lehman goes home, and a liner foul out of play to the left. Not a ton of room behind home plate, maybe a little more than they had in Danville. And then even jutting out to the sides, nowhere near as much room compared to the corn crib where you have a lot of space. 1-1 curveball in for a called strike. So Thompson Allen behind 1-2. Trying to bring home Jeske to even up this game. Lehman set at the belt, and he deals the 1-2. Change up in the dirt. Good play by Thine. Brown has not showed any indication of taking off. He has a pretty short lead at first. And the 1-2 pitch is swung on and missed. Looked like that was a changeup. That retires the side. The CornBelters are able to get 1 back. They leave 2, also able to take advantage of a couple errors. We'll head to the bottom of the second. Lumber Kings leading 2-1. 6, 7, 8 coming up for the Lumber Kings as we move into the bottom of the second. Clinton leading Normal 2-1. James Haskett, the DH, will get us started. He swings the first pitch and tops it foul to the left. Haskett hitting .01 in this being his 10th game. 4 RBIs to his credit. Part of a few rotation of guys who've kind of platooned throughout the year. The 0-1, though, is hit on one hop through the hole on the left side. Haskett got it down towards the end of the bat, but able to find a hole. So the leadoff man on for the second consecutive inning. That brings up Ben Swales. Wait a minute. The public address announcer just announced Noah Thine is at the plate. Huh, did I do something wrong there? No, it looks like that is him. He takes outside 1-0. Huh, let me check out the live stats here. What could I have done wrong? Oh, I see it. I see it. Called strike 1-1 the count. Let's see, Ryath Peterson singled. And then Haskett ended the inning. All right. And then Swales just singled. All right. Fine, the 7-man is the hitter. 1-2 the count. I think we are now all squared away. Beg your pardon for that one. Fine doing the catching tonight. He's going to see a lot more innings now thanks to the injuries as he takes a fastball just outside. Fine out of Des Moines Area Community College. Stands 5'9", 185 pounds on the left side. Count even 2-2 with Ben Swales at first. Outside 3-2. You don't want to lose these guys in the bottom of the order if you're Wilcox. He did walk the first 2 men of the ball game, and both of them did come around to score. The 3-2 pitch, the runner goes, and that one's hit high in the air to right center. That's pretty well hit. Thompson Allen on the run, and he makes the over-the-shoulder catch. A lot of room out there, as I mentioned. Nobody was covering first with a chance to double up Ben Swales. So the outfield defense really showing off tonight. Thompson Allen, who runs like the wind, able to put that one away. And at least for now, on 2 occasions, all the room in center field and the fact that it's so humid, the ball's not traveling super well, has hurt the Clinton hitters. 1 away in the second, the 9th man, Blake Timmons, will bat. Timmons out of North Dakota State University. Takes outside. Now 1-0. Infield set up to turn 2. Swales a pretty short lead off at first, but there he goes. Pitch swung on a miss. The throw down by Mason. Plenty of time to retire Ben Swales. Pitch perfect throw from Chase Mason. Now 2 outs and the base is clear. Boy, that was on the money. There was nowhere for Swales to go. And the pitch was a ball. It's now 1-1. Wilcox, who's picked up the pace a little, deals a changeup a little high. That was great. Mason has easily been one of the better catchers in controlling the running game. The 2-1 pitch is popped way up there to the right side. Zach Zykowski calls everybody off, and he makes the one-handed catch. So the Lumber Kings go down quietly, thanks to some good defense from Chase Mason. We'll head to the top of the third, 2-1 Lumber Kings. We're back for the top of the third. 2-1 Lumber Kings. It'll be 2-3-4 for the Belters. Flanagan, Johnson, and Mason. Kyle Lehman will get back to work on the mound after only allowing a run in the second, but his pitch count's all the way up to 39. And that run he allowed was earned. Chase Mason a second ago just nabbed his 6-man in 16 tries. First pitch swinging off the hands out to right. Clay Jacobs has it lined up a few steps to his left, and he makes the catch. Ball actually carried pretty well. And granted, Flanagan is very strong. So a first pitch out, Landon Johnson will be the hitter. Johnson still leading the league in total hits at 33. 1 for 4 a couple days ago to extend his now 9-game hit streak. And he takes a strike at the knees. Lehman, who works very fast when the bases are clear, deals the 0-1 out of the windup, and a curveball on the outside corner. Johnson not a big fan of it. Yeah, he took 1 foot out of the box, then he had to re-engage because Lehman's ready to go now. Up and away, 1-2. This seems like the kind of guy where a hitter would want to call time, at least occasionally. The 1-2 pitch with 1 out is popped up left side. The third baseman swales on the run, and he runs out of room. As that one lands by the snack stand. Once again, a very good crowd tonight, with this being Thirsty Thursday. $3 draft beers. The 1-2 pitch again. Hit in the air, foul again to the left side. Lumber Kings leading the CornBelters 2-1. 2 runs on a couple hits in the first. And then 1 run on 2 hits in the second for the CornBelters. That's in the air to center. It's pretty well hit, but plenty of room for Blake Timmons. Actually comes in a few steps to make the catch. Johnson just missed that one. That brings up Chase Mason. Mason popped out to second his first time up. Mason will try and make Lehman sweat a little this inning after getting 2 quick outs. Swings the first pitch, looper out to center. Timmons comes charging in. He dives. He can't get it as the ball gets by him. It's backed up by Clay Jacobs. That'll hold Mason at first. Third hit of the night for the CornBelters, and that extends the third. It's been noticeable early. A concerted effort all throughout this CornBelter lineup of swinging early in the count and hunting fastballs. Zach Zykowski will bat. He singled and eventually came around to score. Short lead at first from Mason. And the pitch by Lehman is rocketed out to left. Right at Will Stark, though. Zykowski got that one just a bit towards the end of the bat. No runs, a hit, a man left for the CornBelters. We played 2.5. 2-1 Clinton. Welcome back to the Cardinals Collegiate League YouTube. Bottom of the third, Lumber Kings leading 2-1. After working a clean second, Slater Wilcox back to work. He'll face the top of the order, Will Stark, Chase Womack, and Clay Jacobs. 1 run, 3 hits, no errors for the Belters. 2 runs, 2 hits, 2 errors for the Lumber Kings. Wilcox out of the stretch deals. First pitch swinging Stark. He pops it up. Short left field. Brown comes charging in, and the shortstop Letamendi makes the catch in fair territory. I've talked recently about Letamendi's noticeable improvements at the plate, both in, well, contact and production, but he's been a rock at shortstop all summer, even during the period of time he struggled at the plate. He can fly, so he covers a ton of ground in those pop-ups behind third, and he's been silky smooth on all the grounders. Chase Womack will bat, and he takes up and away. Stark and Womack both walked to start the game and eventually came around to score. Zykowski at second playing Womack to pull, and he takes a strike on the inside corner. Still very overcast after a beautiful sunny day throughout. The lights are all on. A ground ball to the left side. Flanagan up with it. He has plenty of time to throw out Womack. 2 up, 2 down here in the third. And that brings up Clay Jacobs. Jacobs out of Ball State University. Oh, one of our other broadcasters, Griffin. That's his alma mater, too. Native of Indian Lake, Ohio. Jacobs had a sacrifice fly his first time up. Now batting with 2 outs and the base is clear. He swings the first pitch and ropes it to right. Thompson started in. He goes back, and he's able to recover and make the catch. So a loud third out. Fortunately, a lot of topspin on that line drive. But a 1-2-3 inning from Slater Wilcox. He's worked 2 very clean, efficient innings. We played 3 full at Nelson Core Field. 2-1 Lumber Kings. Top of the fourth on the Cardinals Collegiate League YouTube. CornBelters and Lumber Kings trying to finish strong, coming down the stretch. Give themselves a shot at winning their first half titles. The Lumber Kings, the way it looks, should be able to control their own fate, especially with a doubleheader against us tomorrow. Will Jeske fouls the first pitch over my head. He reached on an error by the first baseman, Cougar Cook, his first time up. Eventually stranded at third. A grounder towards the right side, snared on one hop by Chase Womack in time to first. So a quick first out, but another hard hit ball by a CornBelter that just hasn't been able to find a hole. It's been a great sign, though. Plenty of good swings, and Lehman, despite being efficient at times, has not missed a lot of barrels. Griffin Brown will bat. He walked his first time up, and he takes a curveball up high. But yeah, talking to Brown before the game, he went 6 weeks without seeing live pitching from the end of his regular season as he takes a strike. And I realize it makes a lot more sense now why offensive numbers across the board were down. And steadily over the past 2 to 3 weeks, they've been gradually rising. ERAs and whips for every team have been going up. On the inside corner with another curve, 1-2 the count to Griffin. And it makes perfect sense now. You had a lot of guys who maybe were in the D1 program, didn't play, or even just getting rest between the end of the season, just were a bit rusty. Brown swings and misses. He strikes up, 2 down. Third punch out of the night for Lehman. And it brings up Tyler Thompson. He had a sac fly to right his first time up. CornBelters trailing 2-1. 2 outs, bases clear, top of the fourth. Lehman out of the windup, and a first pitch hit foul by Thompson. Bit late on a curveball that time. It has gotten very humid here at Nelson Core Field. It feels like it's going to rain, even though one hop line drive to Chase Womack. Another chance for him. That's a second ball in the inning we saw similar to that. So despite a couple hard hit balls, 1, 2, 3 go the CornBelters in their half of the fourth. We'll go to the bottom half. 2-1 Lumber Kings on the Colonels Collegiate League YouTube. We're set to go for the bottom of the fourth. Cougar Cook, Ryath Peterson, and James Hackett will be the hitters. Part of the lineup for Slater Wilcox, who's delivered 2 back-to-back clean innings. And at least as we stand starting the fourth, this is a starting effort that the CornBelters have really needed. First pitch misses a little inside. It's been a tight zone all night from Dom Umland behind the plate. Both sides of the plate, and he's not really calling that high strike either. Wilcox set at the belt, and he deals the 1-0. That one's rocketed out to right center. Thompson out on the run. It's going to split the gap and actually clear the wall. A long home run for Cougar Cook. It's his second of the summer. And boy, did he really have to hit that one. He got that one out near the 401 sign in right center field. So something interesting is going on now. Cougar Cook has just rounded the bases, and there were a bunch of CornBelter guys who are pointing somewhere. They're arguing with the first base umpire, Scott Titrington. I don't know if they're saying that Cougar Cook missed first base, but they're yelling I don't know what they're yelling at, whether they're mad at the home plate umpire, Dom Umland. Billy had a couple things to say, too. Billy Du Bois actually still talking to Umland as the first pitch to Ryath Peterson misses outside. The way everyone was pointing, I assumed they were telling Slater Wilcox to appeal to a base. So I don't know what they could have been going on about. That's cranked out to left by Peterson. On the run is Brown, and it's going to hit off the base of the wall. Peterson will cruise into second with a double just seconds after Cook went deep. 2 missiles from Cook and Peterson, and now it's 3-1 Lumber Kings. Time is called. Billy Dubois out of the dugout. I think that is a very wise course of action, as all of a sudden, Wilcox is getting hit around a little bit. You know, I just realized I have no idea where the CornBelter bullpen is. Oh, wait, who am I kidding? Both bullpens are in play. I got fooled because I didn't see anyone there. Well, sometimes you can't learn everything when you go to a new ballpark. The entire infield is in on the mound. The home plate umpire, Umlin, is going to break it up, and we'll see if Billy has any words for him. Well, he has a few as he walks off. Perhaps arguing a couple pitches he thought Wilcox wanted. This is getting pretty animated now. Umlin now warning Billy. Billy was starting to get a lot more demonstrative as the conversation wore on, as both guys were walking back to their position. So James Hackett will be the hitter. He's 0 for 1 tonight with a flyout. So Peterson at second. Cook homered earlier in the inning. Bit of a delay. Looks like the home plate umpire was making a note in his scorecard, perhaps for the mound visit. The shortstop, Letamendi, is holding Peterson on with the lefty Hackett at the plate. First pitch to him is in the dirt. It kicks away from Mason to his right, and Peterson moves up to third on the wild pitch. Now Wilcox is going to need to take a deep breath and find something. The infield's going to come in. Nobody out. Peterson at third. And the CornBelters already trailing 3-1. The 1-0 delivery is hit hard through the hole on the right side for a hit. Peterson will cross the plate. 5th RBI of the season for Hackett. The ball actually wasn't hit all that hard. It sounded harder than it actually was, but with the infield drawn in, no chance for Johnson or Zykowski to make a play. It's now 4-1 Clinton. They're up to 5 hits now. And that is 3 consecutive batters who have connected with the barrel this inning. First pitch curveball a little low. That's another one that Wilcox and Mason did want. Likely Billy wanted the same thing from the dugout. Ben Swales, who singled his first time up, and there goes the runner. The next pitch is hit high in the air to left. It's deep. Brown going back at the wall, and that one is gone. Just over the 335 sign in straightaway left. Second home run of the inning for the Lumber Kings. This one a 2-run shot by Ben Swales. It's his first of the season, and it's now 6-1 Lumber Kings. Boy, and all this has come out of nowhere. 2 consecutive clean innings, getting some off-balance swings from Slater Wilcox, then home run to Cook, double by Peterson, the single from Hackett with the infield in, and then the 2-run shot just now from Ben Swales. And now Noah Thine will bat. He flew out to center his first time up. No outs still, and the base is clear, and the first pitch inside. And now there's a couple guys going out to the bullpen. 3 guys, actually. Bullpen coach Nick Roseman going out with them. Yeah, some guys are going to get up. On the outside corner for a called strike. Still nobody out in the 4th. And this Lumber King crowd, and it's a big one with the promotional beer night. They're really into it now. The 1-1 pitch is on the ground to the right side. Sliding stop Johnson bobbles it, and he throws from his backside to Wilcox covering in time. That was a very nice play from Landon Johnson. Looked like it was going to be, well, it was a tough play. Fortunately, Wilcox showing some pretty good athleticism getting over the cover. 3-1 on that put-up, 1 out, and Blake Timmons will be the hitter. Timmons popped out to second. Right on left the matchup with the bases clear. First pitch swinging at a pop-up. Short left center. Letamendi out. Brown comes in. And it will be Griffin Brown who makes the catch. Now 2 outs. Will Stark, the leadoff man, will bat. So the 2 guys warming up for the CornBelters, Ryan Willard and Zach O'Donnell. 2 lefties are getting loose. And granted, you had the off day yesterday, but this has been a bullpen that's been heavily taxed, especially just the past 5 outings. Austin Berggren was the only guy to go 5 innings or more. Showing bunt to Stark, and he takes outside. Other than that, mentioned at the top of the broadcast, past 5 games specifically, haven't had a whole lot of successful innings from the starting pitchers. So you want to get Wilcox at least through this and maybe even the 5th. Curveball for a strike. Stark walked and scored in the first, popped out to second in the third. The 1-1 delivery. Curveball fouled out of play to the left. 2 outs, bottom of the 4th. The Lumber Kings leading 6-1. So the CornBelters will have to play from behind. I'm not completely sure if a loss would eliminate them from first half contention. The 1-2 pitch, change up, and I have no idea where that missed. Might have been high, might have been outside. It's been a very tight strike zone. And throughout this entire night, Wilcox and Billy DuBois have not agreed with it. Swing and a miss at a slider. Stark is retired, but the damage has been done. 4 runs come across for the Lumber Kings, thanks to home runs from Cougar Cook and then the 2-run homer from Ben Swales. We'll head to the top of the 5th, 6-1 Lumber Kings. Kyle Lehman will get back to work with a 6-1 lead in the top of the 5th. He'll face the 9-1-2 hitters for Normal. Letamendi, Thompson Allen, then Flanagan. Letamendi struck out his first time up. He swings the first pitch and hits a towering pop-up foul out of play to the left. Letamendi came into play hitting .240, going 2 for 4 a couple days ago against the Danville Dans. The 0-1 delivery by Lehman, a curveball high. Now, the CornBelters, really since opening day, have not taken batting practice on the field. They prefer the pitching machine in the center field cages, inside 2 and 1. And so I got to see them take BP on the field today, and the ball explodes off of Letamendi's bat. Upstairs, now 3 and 1. And he's been swinging a good bat, but when you're so high up, especially at the corn crib, it's tougher to get an idea of how quickly the ball's coming in from the pitcher and how guys are really driving it. Foul ball, 3 and 2. And Letamendi's a very strong guy with a pretty short swing. He goes after a high fastball right there, though. He goes down on strikes for the second time. Thompson Allen will be the batter. He's 0 for 2 with a strikeout his last time up. Also lined out to center. So for now, Ryan Willard and Zach O'Donnell have stopped throwing in the bullpen. So Slater Wilcox should come back out for the 5th. On the outside corner for a called strike. Now, it's a tough thing, of course, to play from behind for any hitter, but CornBelters have looked good at the plate. As that one's rocketed into center, it's going to drop in front of Blake Timmons. This time, Thompson Allen gets it to fall. Just the 3rd hit of the night or the 4th hit of the night for the CornBelters, but can't understate it enough. They've had a lot of good swings off of Lehman. That brings up Will Flanagan. He's flied out a couple times. The right fielder, understandably, Jacobs, playing very deep. Thompson Allen, who can fly. He's stolen 10 bags without being caught so far. And the first pitch misses outside. Of course, you don't want to make an out on the bases. Granted, Flanagan is a guy who does hit into his double plays. The 1-0 pitch, the runner doesn't go, and a curveball's in there for strike 1. Nobody up in the Lumber Kings bullpen. Lehman with 1 out in the 4th, up to 64 pitches. Really, the 2nd inning has been his only tough inning. As time is called, it looks like Flanagan got something in his eye. There are some gnats that have been down on the field. They were prevalent during batting practice. I'm fortunate. The bugs have not been out here. What's that bug called? Andres was telling me about it. That's very specific to Iowa, or even, especially Iowa across the river. The runner goes, changeup taken low. The throw down to second is not in time. That was close. The fans are irate, but I got to give credit where it's due. The third base umpire, Larry Allen, made a great call. Thompson Allen did get his hand in, and he's stolen his 11th consecutive bag. Despite the off-speed pitch, that was a pretty good pitch for Thine to throw on. And a pretty good arm from the guy who was initially the 3rd-string catcher. And the 2-1 pitch is hit a mile to right. It is deep, and that ball is long gone. Into the lumber lounge well beyond the right field wall. A titanic, no doubt, home run from Will Flanagan. It's his 4th of the summer. And he's cut the deficit in half now. It's 6-3. That had the sound. Flanagan was able to stand by home plate and admire it for a second. An absolute moonshot. There's not much wind to speak about here, but it's a big ballpark. It starts to get really deep quickly and right once you get away from the 325 sign down the line. Will Flanagan, he can absolutely hit. We knew that, but that's easily the hardest hit ball that I've seen from him this season. Landon Johnson takes a first pitch curve inside, and really good to see from these CornBelter hitters. Still coming back aggressive despite falling behind by 5. Johnson swings, and it's a high fly ball to right. Playable for Jacobs. So he comes trotting in. He puts it away. It's another one that Johnson just missed. 2 outs and the base is clear, 6-3. And Chase Mason will bat. Landon Johnson, though, was able to extend his now 10-game hitting streak back in the 1st. Mason singled his last time up, and he swings the first pitch. He hits it well to right, but Jacobs, moving to his left, is able to put it away a few steps shy of the track. CornBelters are able to answer back, though. The 2-run homer by Will Flanagan deep into the right field lumber lounge bleachers. We'll head to the bottom of the 5th as the 50-50 music is going off. 6-3 Lumber Kings. Bottom of the fifth on the Colonels Collegiate League YouTube. Now 6-3. 2-3-4 coming up for Clinton, Womack, Jacobs, and Cook. And it's good to see this. Slater Wilcox is back on the mound after surrendering 4 runs in the fourth. Fortunately, able to work out of it and try to give the CornBelters some more innings. There's nobody up in either bullpen. Some guys just doing some stretching for the Belters. Right on left, the matchup. Womack, who's walked and scored, also grounded out, takes a changeup outside. So a tough assignment now. Wilcox working through the middle of the order once again, who did tag him in the previous frame. That's a good curveball in for a called strike. It's getting very dark. Now, granted, it's a lot lighter on the field with me being underneath the overhang for the grandstands. 1-1 slider is a little inside. Mason and Wilcox wanted one as Slater snaps the ball back from his battery mate. They have not liked the strike zone the entire evening from Dom Umland, and it's been tight. 2-1 fastball just low. Another one that Wilcox wanted. Can't afford to get too frustrated. Still need to make your pitches, of course. 6 runs, 6 hits, 2 errors for the Lumber Kings, 3 runs on 5 hits, no errors for the CornBelters. The 3-1 curveball is popped up, foul territory down the left field line, and it'll slice out of play. Will Flanagan gave that a look. 3-2 the count now to Womack, starting the fifth. Wilcox only at 60 pitches. Still pretty manageable. And the payoff delivery, swung on and missed. It gets away from Mason. He picks it up. He'll fire it down the first to finish off the strikeout. 1 away in the fifth. It brings up Clay Jacobs. Just the second strikeout of the night for Wilcox. So fortunately, the trend of the CornBelters playing good defense has continued, especially from the outfield. They put on a heck of a show tracking down some of these fly balls from the Lumber Kings. Clay Jacobs, the hitter, he lined out sharply to right his last time up. Sacrifice fly in the first. Right on left and up and away. Wilcox has been battling all night with that arm slot. He's missed with quite a few pitches up and towards the right-handed box. Changeup misses downstairs. Try and keep it right where it is, especially with the Belters answering back with 2 runs in the fifth. 6-3 is our score. 2-0 and a called strike on the outer half. And it looks like one of the left-handers is going to get back up and throwing in the CornBelter pen. The 2-1 is fouled right off the foot of Jacobs. He has the shin guard on, but it didn't help. Right off the top of the foot. Can't tell who that lefty is throwing for us. I don't have binoculars up here. And it's not like he's turning his back to me to really see it. Jacob seems to be okay as he settles his way back into the box. 1 out, base is clear in the fifth. Wilcox is set to go, and he deals the 2-2. Curveball stays outside. The count now full 3-2, and just taking a look at the standings now, the CornBelters actually sit in third in the Central Division at 10-14. Rex Baseball has won 3 in a row, is up a half game. Swinging a pop-up. Left center field, Brown and Thompson Allen over, and it's the center fielder, Thompson Allen, who makes the catch. So Wilcox wins the battle that time. 2 away in the fifth, and Cougar Cook will bat with the bases clear. He homered his last time up to start the 4-inning rally in the fourth. Ryan Willard is the left-hander who's warming up. Much appreciation from our bullpen coach, Nick Roseman. I mentioned it a few times. He's the man. He's got the scoop on virtually everything. Just a humble bullpen coach who grew up in Bloomington Normal and now lives in Austin, Texas. Up and away to Cook. Cook 2 for 2 with a couple RBIs tonight. The Danville Dans sit at 14-11, coming into play, up 3.5 on us. Lumber Kings a game and a half behind Illinois Valley in the Northwest Division. Outside 2-0. We have a doubleheader scheduled with the Lumber Kings tomorrow. Granted, they've had some bad luck with getting some games suspended that have been moved to the second half, including a big one against the Pistol Shrimp earlier in the week. High 3-0 the count to Cook. And after Pistol Shrimp, after tonight, have 2 games left. 3-1 the count now. They trail 5-0 to the Johnstown Millrats. Then Illinois Valley plays the Millrats again tomorrow, and then the Lafayette Aviators to round out the first half. Outside ball 4. 2-walk drawn by Cook. The third walk issued by Slater Wilcox, but only the first one he's allowed since the second batter of the game. That brings up Riot Peterson. He doubled off the left field wall his last time up. So he's 2 for 2. Cook inches off of first. He has a pretty good lead. Wilcox a long hold and he goes home. Swinging a roller foul towards the Lumber King dugout. Clinton leading 6-3. Cook, who walked a second ago, and Wilcox trying to work through the 5th. Boy, Cook does look runnerish, and there he goes. Curveball taken high to throw by Mason. On the money, out is the call at second. That retires the side. Chase Mason throws out his second man stealing tonight in as many tries. He's up to 7. Really separating himself as one of the elite catchers this year in the Prospect League. So Slater Wilcox faces the minimum here in the 5th, thanks to Mason erasing Cougar Cook. We'll go to the top of the 6th, 6-3 Lumber Kings. We're set for the top of the 6th, and for now, the CornBelters keeping the Lumber Kings where they're at, trailing 6-3. Zykowski, Jeske, and Brown to be the hitters. Lehman back out to work the 6th, and Zykowski shows bunt and bunts it foul. Trying to catch everybody by surprise. So now Ben Swales will play way in, as there is a right-hander up and loosening for the Lumber Kings. Ryan Willard continues to throw for the Belters. A rocket into left field by Zykowski. That's in for a knock. Zach Zykowski now 2 for 3 tonight, and he's aboard to start the 6th. That brings up Will Jeske, 0 for 2, reaching on an error in the 2nd. Now, I was talking about schedules for these 2 teams tonight and their rivals down the stretch. So looking at the Lumber Kings, it does look like they still control their own destiny, since they have 4 more games than the Pistol Shrimp after tonight. Inside 1-0 to Jeske. You have the doubleheader tomorrow against us, and then they play 2 games back-to-back nights against the O'Fallon Hoots to round out their first half. Zykowski, who has stolen 7 bags inches off, and Jeske takes a strike. Lights are on, still overcast here in Clinton, Iowa, just across the Mississippi River. Lehman set, and he checks on Zajkowski. He goes back in diving without a tag. Zach does run well, but we saw earlier Noah Thine throws extremely well. Very strong arm for the third string catcher. Outside, and a snap throw to first. Zajkowski goes in standing up. 2-1 the count to Will. 6-3 Lumber Kings. Clinton set up to turn 2. And the pitch is fouled straight back. So Thine didn't play his first game until June 12th. And he played June 21st and 22nd against the Cape Catfish. 2-2 the count now, and another check on Zajkowski. He dives in safely. So he really hasn't had many opportunities. Well, I guess that's how it is when you're the third catcher on any roster. Zajkowski inches off some more, and he draws another throw. No pickoff or disengagement rules in the college ranks compared to the majors, or really any professional rank. Jeske awaits the 2-2, and here it is. Off the end of the bat pop-up, on the infield, Jeske slams the bat down in frustration, and the shortstop Peterson makes the catch. Well, Jeske felt like he had a pitch to hit right there. One away in the 6th, Griffin Brown will be the hitter. He walked in the 2nd, struck out in the 4th. So Thine came into play 1 for 10 in throwing out base stealers. First pitch swinging is Brown, and he pops it up foul and out of play to the right. Well, the throw we saw earlier is not the kind of effort I would expect from a guy who's only 1 for 10 in throwing out runners. Zajkowski still with a good lead at first. A lot of room on the right side, and a pitch outside. The right-hander continues to loosen for the Lumber Kings, and Willard doing the same for the CornBelters. Wonder if Willard will come into the game next inning. The 1-1 fastball on the outside corner, and Brown does not agree. He had a few words for the home plate umpire, Dom Unland. 1-2 the count now. 1 out, 6-3 Lumber Kings. Zajkowski at first. See if he takes off. He does not go, and the pitch is lined into left center field. It's going to split the gap and head towards the track. The center fielder Timmons picks it up. Zajkowski's in the 3rd. He's going to hold up there, and Griffin Brown cruises into 2nd with a 1-out double. Well, you talk about hitting a ball with authority right there. And the CornBelters, for the 2nd straight inning, are in business with the tying run now coming to the plate. And it'll be Tyler Thompson. Thompson with a sac fly in the 2nd and a ground out to 2nd in the 4th. The Midland field will play back. The Corners will actually play in, despite leading by 3. 2nd double of the summer for Griffin. First pitch swinging and a ground ball to 2nd. Womack up with it. He has 1 plate to 1st. He gets the out there. Zajkowski crosses the plate. Brown to 3rd. So for the 2nd time tonight, Tyler Thompson able to come through with a man on 3rd and less than 2 outs. It's now 6-4 Lumber Kings. And still a chance for more with a man on 3rd, now 2 outs. Letamendi will be the hitter. Lehman, out of the stretch, deals just outside. So the CornBelters, give them a ton of credit. They've been fighting back ever since the 4 spot from Clinton in the 4th. 3 unanswered runs, and the 1-0 outside. Letamendi, a good hitter's count. He struck out his only 2 times up tonight. See if he can get something in the heart of the plate. The 2-0 pitch, that's it high in the air to left. It's well hit. Stark is going back, but he's going to have room and make the catch as he comes in a few more steps. Letamendi just missed tying this game by a matter of inches. The CornBelters are able to add another run. It's now 6-4 as we head to the bottom of the sixth. CornBelters fighting back. Bottom of the sixth here at Nelson Core Field. Peterson, Hackett, and Swales will be the hitter. Ryan Willard will take over on the mound for the CornBelters. His 7th appearance all out of the bullpen. He's only gone 3 2/3 innings, and he had 4 straight really good outings to start his summer. Then back-to-back times where he got hit around a little bit, albeit a small sample size. So he's going to try and keep the Lumber Kings right where it's at in a 6-4 game, and the first pitch misses up and in. Peterson is 2 for 2, a double and a run scored his last time up. And there is a bit of news now. The Pistol Shrimp did just lose 5-0 to Johnstown. A grounder back to the box, flagged down by Willard, and he runs it halfway to the bag, flipping it to Johnson. A quick first out for Willard, and it brings up James Hackett. So now if the Lumber Kings are able to hold on and win this one, then they move to just a half game behind the Pistol Shrimp. So then theoretically, if they were to beat us both games tomorrow, then they could pull even with the Pistol Shrimp regardless. Curveball up high, 1-0 to Hackett. RBI single for him in the 4th. He's 2 for 3 tonight. Left on left the matchup and outside. 2-0 the count now. The right-hander for the Lumber Kings continues to throw, and there's a righty getting loose for the CornBelters. Curveball again, outside. 3-0 the count now with 1 out and the base is clear. Willard dealing with the DH Hackett out of the 6-hole. CornBelters, of course, trying to work their way back and stay alive in their first half standings. Upstairs, and a 4-pitch walk issued to Hackett. That brings up Ben Swales. Swales is 2 for 2 with a 2-run homer into the left field berm his last at bat. That was part of the 4-run outburst for the Lumber Kings in the 4th. As Hackett takes his lead, it's a good one with the lefty on the mound. Willard deals a first pitch up and in. So Ryan kind of missing in that similar spot. He needs to settle in a hurry. This being a bullpen that has been a major strength for the CornBelters, helping them for a period of time in the top 5 in ERA in the league. Low with a fastball, 2-0 the count. But then with, the previous 5 games with struggles from the starting pitchers, that put them towards the bottom 5 in ERA. A little bit misleading if you ask me. Upstairs 3-0. Now Willard has missed with 7 straight after retiring Ryeth Peterson to start the inning. Definitely not what you want. Trying to find it here. Set up on the far third base side. Slide step, and that pitch actually got a piece of Ben Swales. Well, either way, he's missed with 8 straight now, and he's put men on first and second with 1 out. The 8th man, Thine, will bat. He's 0 for 2. Thine getting a very nice round of applause. Perhaps some family here. So the line done for Slater Wilcox. He went the first 5. He allowed the 6 hits and 6 runs, all of them earned, to go with 3 walks and 2 strikeouts. Time is called, and here comes Billy DuBois. I absolutely love this mound visit right now. I think he picked the right time, and he's giving the righty who's throwing more than enough time to finish getting loose. Well, of course, the entire infield is in as well. It's one of those conversations where looks like he's talking about some mechanics. Billy's lifting his leg, so trying to find that arm slot, trying to find that balance point. Looks like Billy just signaled to the bullpen. How about that? Caught me a little by surprise. Billy has been very effective, seeing him the last 2 outings, working those mound visits and stalling for some extra time. So I'll step aside. Ryan Willard done after facing just 3 hitters. Both base runners are his responsibility. New pitcher for the CornBelters. Welcome back to the Colonels Collegiate League YouTube. Willard out, Alex McHale into the game in a high leverage spot. With 1 out, men on first and second for the Lumber Kings, who lead 6-4. CornBelters at the moment have scored 3 unanswered runs. Willard was able to retire the first man he faced on a ground ball right back to him. Then he walked Hackett and hit Swales, missing with 8 straight. And Billy DuBois gave him the yank. Alex McHale out of Parkland Community College has been at times really good. The ERA sitting at 7.62 in 13 innings is a bit misleading if you ask me. His 10th appearance all out of the bullpen for the right-hander. The corners are set up in case of a bunt with 1 out. First pitch in the dirt, blocked by Mason. Well, if you're Alex McHale, you absolutely cannot come in with command issues. The third baseman, Flanagan, still even with the bag. The rest of the infield now set up to turn 2. McHale on the far first base side, dealing with the lefty Thine. And the pitch, curveball on the inside corner. That was a good one. Thine is 0 for 2, a fly out to center and a ground out to first. The outfield is not all that deep, so Hackett not likely to score on a hit, or it could be tough. The 1-1 pitch is a little outside. Didn't miss by much. It's been a tight zone all night. McHale behind 2-1, dealing with the 8th man. So the pace is really slowed down now. Willard out, they're facing just 3 hitters. And there goes the runner from second. The pitch is lined in the left. That's going to be in for a hit. Hackett will cruise on home, making it the score 7-4. Noah Thine delivers here in the 6th to give the Lumber Kings a run back. It's now 7-4. Swales stopped at second. Well, no chance for Griffin Brown to try and come up throwing with the runner taking off. So that inherited run will be charged to Ryan Willard. Swales at second is also his responsibility. Last thing you want to do if you're the Belters is to give back the runs that you just put on the board. It's the 9th man, Blake Timmons, and he takes a called strike. CornBelters still an opportunity to score 2. Part of an infield defense that has been excellent. CornBelters a rank in the top quarter in total defense. There goes the runner again from second. Pitch taken down and in. No throw to either base. Looks like the pitch was actually called a strike on the swing. A double steal. Swales into third and Thine into second. Well, and Alex McHale really hasn't been paying attention to any of the runners. So the Lumber Kings, a team that doesn't run a whole lot, able to pull off a double steal. Now the infield comes all the way in with the count 0-2, 1 out. And the pitch. Swing and a miss, but the ball gets away from Mason to the backstop. Everybody's going to be safe. Swales in to score. Timmons is safe at first, and Thine goes to third. It'll be a strikeout wild pitch. Mason, who's been excellent, I mean downright excellent, blocking pitches. Curveballs are obviously the toughest one. And it looked like he sent it up pretty well, but it just kicked away to his left. It's now 8-4 Lumber Kings. Men on first and third with 1 out. The middle infielders are set up to turn 2. No RBI on the play. Will Stark, the leadoff man, will bat. And the first pitch is up and away. The scoreboard still reads 7-4, but I promise it's 8-4. Want to know the count to Stark, who struck out his last time up. 0-for-2 with a walk and a run scored. And a throw over the first. Timmons dives back safely. Well, McHale, after allowing a double steal a second ago, wisely trying to control the running game. Bit of a long hold this time. Timmons with a very aggressive lead. The 1-0, he starts and stops, and a ground ball to the right side is going to leak through the vacated hole for a hit. Timmons is around second. He's going to third. The throw comes into second. RBI seeing eye single for Will Stark, and it's now 9-4. Obviously, these are the kind of things that are talked about before the batter, but I was surprised to see the second baseman, Zykowski, head to second to take the throw, even with the left-hander Stark up. So Timmons now at third, Thine crossed the plate. And the Lumber Kings are, well, taking it to the CornBelters this inning thanks to the base running. A grounder to first, just foul. Past the diving Landon Johnson. Just foul. Scott Titterington was right there to make the call, and the ball leaked into the CornBelter bullpen. 2 runs would have likely scored on the play. Chase Womack will head back to the box, who comes in 0-for-2 with that walk and run scored in the first. 9-4 Lumber Kings. Now the Lumber Kings, give them credit. They've come back with some offense of their own. 2 teams who rank 5th and 6th in total offense. In the dirt, and that gets away from Mason to his right. Blake Timmons comes in to score. Up to second goes Stark. The second wild pitch of the inning from Alex McHale, and, well, he came in relief for Ryan Willard, whose line is done now, allowing 2 earned in a third of an inning. Billy Dubois out to the mound, and Alex McHale just hasn't had anything. 2 wild pitches, allowing some hard contact, not holding the runners. The entire infield is coming in. There is another right-hander throwing for the Belters. That actually might be P.J. Rogan. I think I saw him throwing with 2 different arms, at least this guy throwing now. Well, I bet Billy's going to take as much time as the umpires will give him if the home plate ump, Dom Umblin, starts walking out. Well, see if Billy has any more conversation. Let's see, Billy's indicating some kind of notepad gesture towards the home plate umpire. Possibly not happy with the strike zone. It's been a tough strike zone. It's felt like with the CornBelter pitching. The count's 1-1 as Womack will settle back in. Stark at second. It's now 10-4. McHale set and the pitch. Misses down and in. A bullpen that's been so solid through this entire first half has, well, it's uncorked under them. The combination of Willard and now McHale. 2-1 the count as Stark inches off, and the pitch is hit in the air to left center. It's pretty well hit. Thompson Allen on the run. Brown there too. Oh, and the ball falls between them. Nobody called it. Stark is around third. He's going to score. Womack into second, which will likely be scored as an RBI double. It was a well-hit ball, but both guys were able to get to the spot in time, but nobody made the call. It was slicing back towards Griffin Brown, but that's a ball, and I'm sure Thompson Allen will agree with me on this, where the center fielder more often than not should take charge. Well, the hits and the runs are piling up for the Lumber Kings. They're finding a lot of different ways to score. And a good amount of them, some self-inflicted errors for the CornBelters. First pitch curveball to Clay Jacobs in for a strike. Jacobs the 8th man to come to the plate this inning. Of course, 2 of the runs are going to be charged to Willard. For now, the other 3 to Alex McHale, all of them earned. Outside 1-1. Jacobs is 0 for 2 with a sacrifice fly. So out of nowhere, a 5 spot here in the 6th for the Lumber Kings after the CornBelters cut the lead to 6-4. Here's the 1-1 pitch. A liner into center. That's going to drop in for a hit. Womack is being waved home. The throw from Thompson Allen's going to be cut off. And actually, Womack put the stop sign on at the last second. It was a strong throw from Tarek coming in. Billy DuBois quickly out of the dugout, and he makes a signal to the bullpen. That's going to be the end of the night for Alex McHale. Well, McHale just did not have it. He hands the ball to Billy. Here comes the new pitcher. We'll step aside with men on first and third, 1 out, and an 11-4 game. Welcome back to the Cardinals Collegiate League YouTube. 5 runs have come across for the Lumber Kings. Still only 1 out. PJ Rogan, the 3rd pitcher this inning for Normal, is in. Rogan, the switch pitcher. Second time I've had a chance to see him. He's up to 7 innings now. First time I saw him, he had a tough time throwing strikes, essentially. But other than that, he's been very good. 7 innings, an ERA of 3.86. His last outing came 4 days ago, a scoreless inning against the River Dragons. And this is pretty interesting. Cougar Cook will be the batter. So switch hitter against switch pitcher. We've seen Cook hit left-handed his first 3 times up. Now with Rogan on the mound, Rogan has opted to go left-handed, and he delivers a first pitch outside. Cook is hitting right-handed in response. So similar to the majors, in this case, the pitcher has to declare which arm he's going to go with. So left on right the matchup, switch on switch hitter. In the dirt, 2-0. I hear the Lumber Kings broadcaster next to me, good friend of mine, Andres Tejeda. He's going crazy getting to see all this. I mean, it is pretty exciting, this part alone, outside of the 11-4 game. Jacobs at first, Womack at third. And the 2-0 pitch is swung on and popped up, out of play to the right side. Womack, his 6th appearance of the season. 4 strikeouts and 5 walks. The walks are a bit high, but that really just came from 1 bad outing. Middle infield set up to turn 2. And the 2-1 delivery. A grounder to third. Big hop for Flanagan. He goes to second for 1. Plenty of time to turn a 5-4-3 double play. So the battle of switch pitcher and switch hitter goes to PJ Rogan on the mound. But the damage has been done. 9 men came to the plate for the Lumber Kings, and they scored 5. Aided by a couple wild pitches, a couple free passes to start the inning, and some aggressive base running. CornBelters needed 3 pitchers to get out of this inning. We'll head to the top of the 7th. Belters trailing by 7. We're back at Nelson Core Field here in Clinton. 11-4 Clinton over Normal. Thompson, Allen, Flanagan, and Johnson will be the hitters. And the Lumber Kings will go to the bullpen for the first time tonight. They turn to Elijah Green to work the 7th. Green out of Eastern Illinois University. His 2nd appearance out of the bullpen. 4 in the 3rd innings, 2.08 ERA, and he deals up and away to Thompson Allen. Boy, the last time Green pitched was June 11th. 2 really good outings and then 1 bad one. Well, the 1 bad one coming in an exhibition game. Outside 2-0 to Thompson Allen. So as it stands, the Lumber Kings are in a prime position to move within a half game of the Illinois Valley Pistol Shrimp for first place in their division. On the outside corner, 2-1 the count. CornBelters, I'm not completely sure if they'd be eliminated from the first half title with a loss tonight, but puts them in a pretty rough position as far as that avenue is concerned. Inside corner for a strike to Thompson Allen. So a run for the CornBelters in the second, 2 in the fifth, 1 in the sixth, then a 2 spot for Clinton in the first, 4 in the fourth, then 5 in the sixth. The 2-2 pitch is a little outside from Green. Anyway, the lines are now done for Ryan Willard and Alex McHale. A third of an inning for Ryan, allowing 2 runs, both of them earned on 2 free passes. McHale, 4 hits, 3 runs, all of them earned, not able to record an out. Fouled away, the count remains 3-2. He did pick up a strikeout, but on a wild pitch. 3 wild pitches issued that inning, along with a double. P.J. Rogan able to pick up the final 2 outs on a double play. 3-2 the count to open the 7th with the bases clear. And the pitch out of the stretch. A grounder to the right side, handled by the second baseman Womack. And he has time to throw out Thompson Allen, who was hustling the entire way up the line. 1 away, it brings up Will Flanagan. So the line now done for Kyle Lehman, his second quality start and as many tries for the Lumber Kings this summer. He went the first 6, 7 hits, 4 runs, all of them earned. Well, he's in line for the win, a walk and 4 strikeouts. Definitely didn't have his best stuff, but he battled and had some good defense behind him. Swinging a liner out to left by Flanagan, backing up his Stark, and he makes the catch a couple steps shy of the track. 2 up, 2 down in the 7th. And really the CornBelters for back-to-back games. Granted, they're swinging the bat much better tonight than they did against the Dans, but hitting a lot of balls right at guys. Obviously, allowing 11 runs through 6 innings is no formula to win, and it's been a lot of runs allowed by CornBelter pitching over the previous week and a half. Low to Johnson. But the offense has been pretty unlucky. A lot of balls just hit right at guys. Johnson 1 for 3 to extend his now 10-game hit streak. Check swing on a pitch missing low. Now 2-0 the count with the bases clear. Tonight being the first of a makeshift home-and-home 3-game series with a doubleheader tomorrow on the PL TV station. Outside 3-0 the count. So the CornBelters, of course, will look to find some momentum with their remaining schedule in the first half before things reset on July 1st. And granted, CornBelters should be the favorites to win the second half at the knees 3-1. Terre Haute should be their main competition, with Danville out of the picture essentially as far as standings are concerned. CornBelters do play a lot more games at home during the second half. A hard ground ball to the right side, past the diving Chase Womack for a base hit. Johnson, the league leader in total hits, has 2 more tonight. All season long, Landon Johnson has just found ways to pick up hits, whether it's pulling it to the right side, going the opposite field, or driving it to the gap. That brings up Chase Mason. He's 1 for 3. He lined out to deep right his last time. Also has caught a couple guys stealing tonight. As Elijah Green stares in. A long hold at that at the belt. Now he goes home. It gets away from Noah Thine right to the backstop. That should be a passed ball. Didn't look like it bounced either. Johnson up to second. Looks like actually a few fans might have started to head home. Seems like the field has remained dry with some scattered drizzling in the area. It's been an overcast night throughout. Green set with Johnson leading off of second. The 1-0 is way outside. Thine had to make a diving stop like a hockey goalie. 2-0 now as he walks the pitch or the ball halfway out to the mound. Good hitters count for Mason. The CornBelters trailing 11-4 on a game that heading into the 6th was a 2-run game. Mason awaits the 2-0, and here it is. Curveball right over Chase's head. So all of a sudden, Green has lost his arm slot. I would expect Mason will take all the way, with the CornBelters needing base runners to try and make this a game again. Nobody up in either bullpen. Green sets with the 3-0. Checks Johnson once and deals. Fastball a little low. Mason walks on 4 pitches. Only the second free pass issued between Clinton pitching. One of them coming from Lehman. And it brings up Zach Zykowski. Zykowski's continued to swing a hot bat. Came in hitting .315. 2 for 3 tonight. And he scored a couple runs. Quick meeting on the mound between Thine and Green. Not sure if the Lumber Kings are looking for Green to finish this game off, but nobody's throwing, and they definitely don't want to get anybody up if they don't have to. Looks like Billy Dubois feels the same way for the CornBelters. Possibly looking for Rogan to finish this game off. A foul out of play on a curveball. I got to come up with some good stories going into next inning. Oh, I have one in mind. I've got one in mind. Thanks to, well, being a very seasonal worker the past few years since I finished school and the pig racing, I've had a lot of road trips. I got a good one in mind. The 0-1 curveball misses up and in. I'll probably just keep it right here instead of going to break. That's actually the beauty of not having to deal with advertising space. I've heard some stories back in the old days with Vin Scully and the Dodgers just having a little story time between innings. Swing and a miss at a curveball in the dirt, blocked by Thine, now 1-2. Johnson at second and Mason at first. Yeah, this will be a good story. See if Mason can pick up a 2-out hit. Outfielders are playing fairly deep. Johnson, who doesn't run all that well, could still score on a hit. The 1-2 pitch, off the end of the bat foul. Mason able to stay alive. 4 runs, 8 hits, no errors for the CornBelters. 11 runs, 10 hits, 2 errors for the Lumber Kings. Yeah, at least for now, another tough night for the CornBelters. Fastball right there for a called strike 3. Zykowski goes down looking. So despite some command issues, Elijah Green able to work a scoreless 7th. CornBelters leave 2. As we stretch here at Nelson Core Field, I'm going to keep it right here just like I said before. I do have a story in mind. So this sequence of events took place March of 2022. This was shortly after I finished my first season in the California Winter League in Palm Springs, a season running January to February. And I was in the early part of my second season calling pig races with the All-Alaskan Racing Pigs at fairs. It worked out perfectly where my boss, the pig boss, started that season earlier than he ever had in February, and he happened to be in Indio, California, which is only about a half-hour drive south of Palm Springs, working the National Date Festival. So I worked that event with him. It was a good 10-day event. And then a week later, we had the long weekend in Phoenix, working the Ostrich Festival. Then we had a longer gap between events. The next one wasn't going to be until the middle of April near Seattle. So the pig boss lives in Eugene, Oregon, so he took the trailer of pigs back up there, and I made a road trip out of it. Now, I wanted a change of scenery after seeing so much of California, so I decided to go through Nevada. And I ended up taking a visit to Area 51. Well, that was the start of it. As the inning starts, I'll continue to explain all of this. P.J. Rogan is back on the mound. He'll face Ryan Peterson, James Hackett, and Ben Swales, or at least those spots. Let's see. Yep, Peterson will bat, and Rogan will be throwing right-handed to this right-handed hitter. Peterson 2 for 3 with a double and a run scored. Out of the windup is Rogan, and the pitch misses up and in. Anyway, where was I? So once you get north of Vegas, then there's nothing in Nevada. Outside the cities, there's nothing there. Swing and a miss, 1-1. Other than Alaska, easily the most rural state in the entire country. There's nothing there outside of Reno, Carson City, and Vegas. Outside corner, 1-2 the count to open the bottom of the 7th. So I had to drive about 90 minutes north, surrounded by nothing but the Sierra Nevada mountains, 2-2 the count. And I approached this small town, Rachel, Nevada. 75 people live there according to the sign. Breaking ball misses outside, 3-2. And the only real things in this town was ranching, a lot of ranching. And you had this little inn. Pitch misses inside, ball 4. Peterson walks to lead off the 7th. And so it's a combined bar and inn. It's called the Ale Lay Inn. So A''L''E, then inn. They really mark themselves off of Area 51. When I got in, I had already been driving an hour with the sun down. A bouncer back to the box. Rogan up with it, but his throw to second is well wide, and it goes into center field. Both runners advance. Peterson into third. Hackett hustling into second. Wow, that was a tailor-made 1-6-3 double play, but Rogan couldn't find the handle, maybe tried to aim the throw, and it might have been 15 feet wide of the base. There was nothing Letamendi could have done there. So the first error of the night for the CornBelters, second misplay. Of course, the error is going to go on Rogan. Second and third, no outs. Ben Swales will be the hitter with the infield playing in. 11-4 is our score. Rogan have the windup, throwing right-handed. A swing and a fly ball. Center field. Thompson Allen has it lined up. Actually, it's the right fielder Thompson who makes the catch. Had me fooled. The throw comes into third, and they are able to retire James Hackett, who was trying to advance on the fly ball. That really fooled me. Once the ball goes in the air, it goes out of my line of sight with the way the grandstands overhang. So I thought Thompson Allen was going to catch that ball. Instead, it was way over and straightaway right. Ryan Peterson scored on the sac fly. There's now 2 outs in the inning, and the bases are clear. Let's see, there's 1 out, and then 9-6-5 to retire Hackett. Now 12-4. Make sure I have all my housework in order. Rogan throwing left-handed now with Thine at the plate, and he deals outside. Let's see, so I got to the inn, and even though I had my cowboy hat on, the one I wear for pig racing, everyone could tell I was not from the area. They didn't see my New Jersey tags, at least, in the Dirt 2-0. And there were 3 Brazilian tourists in there and a few other local guys who, I think they do mining out there. Pretty sure that's what the other guys did. Then you had the innkeeper and 1 other worker. 2-0 pitch off the elbow guard of Thine. Now a 2-out base runner for the Lumber Kings here. And initially, some of the locals were asking the Brazilian tourists if they wanted to go explore the abandoned mines with them. So that was one. And of course, the tourists go, "No, thank you. It'd be very dark." And it was also very dark out there. There weren't exactly street lights. As Blake Timmons, the ninth man, will settle in. And the guys go, well, it's just as dark during the day, too. Timmons shows bunt, pitches in the dirt, and it gets away from Mason. Hustling in a second is Stein. He'll take a big turn, but hold up there. Fourth wild pitch in the last 2 innings from CornBelter pitching. I have no idea why Timmons showed bunt there, especially leading by 8. That's the kind of thing, and that's some of the times, at least when you do that, you might end up wearing a ball in your back later on. I'm not saying I'm rooting for it, but it could be the case. Anyway, let's see. So eventually the conversation ended with going to explore the abandoned mines. I wasn't involved in that conversation. I am not an attractive Brazilian female, so those guys did not. I was not of interest to them. A line or foul out of play. So anyway, I had my meal there that night, then checked into the inn. And the way the inn is set up, once you leave the bar, within the span of about a football field's length, 2-1 to count, the pitch misses low, then you get this trailer park where all the rooms are, and you have a few scattered rooms in there. It was so dark, I couldn't find my building. Eventually, I was able to stumble into it. And the heater in my room was broken. High 3-1. And even in mid-March, you're at elevation in kind of central Nevada in the Mojave Desert. It got down to 18 degrees that night. So I had my winter coat on, of course, and I was cold. Slider 3-2, pitch called a strike. I got up that next morning. I took a hot, steamy shower. Boy, did that hurt, but that was one of the biggest reliefs I've ever had. 3-2 pitch, swung on and missed. That retires the side. An unearned run comes across for the Lumber Kings here in the 7th. We'll head to the top of the 8th. I'll keep it right here so I can finish the story. So I get up, then I check out of the inn, and then the lady working the bar, that's where I had to check out, she asked me, she goes, are you with the FBI? Perhaps in certain rural parts like that, they don't have, you never know who the new guys will be coming in, especially with all that federal land. I had my cowboy hat on, a big, heavy black overcoat, and some half boots. So I guess I can understand that. I indicated I was not. And so she gave me some directions to try and explore the 2 gates for Area 51. There's a front and a back gate. Now, the front gate is the more interesting of the two because you have armed snipers who are out there watching. I couldn't find that one. You can't exactly type into Google Maps to get to Area 51. But I was able to find the lone stop sign. There's a mailbox out there, too, with all sorts of knickknacks that people put in to see if the aliens want to take them. Whether trading cards for, like, Pokemon or whatever video games the kids are into these days. And some candy, amongst other things. A lot of stickers. So I found the road. It was a dirt road that went about 20 miles. The final 5 of the miles turned into pavement. Then I got to the gate. Now, it's nothing really to look at as far as beauty goes. You have the mountains way out there in the distance. They're not pretty mountains either. They all kind of look the same. It's very dark and gray, the whole scenery. It happened to be sunny out and not super cold either, despite how cold it got at night. So Elijah Green back on the mound. Will Jeske will be the hitter. Or excuse me, Alex Mazzetti is going to pinch hit for Jeske. Curveball taken inside. Mazzetti came off the bench, making his debut a couple nights ago against the Dans, ended up striking out after helping to lead his high school team to the Minnesota state title. Green out of the stretch deals the 1-0. Down low, 2-0 the count. Let's see, where was I? So I got to the gate, and there were a bunch of signs. No drones, no photography. Outside 3-0. If you try to break in, then you could be in prison for 6 months and get your car impounded. You know, all the basic stuff. There's cameras everywhere, and the fence goes all the way around. But, you know, I'm also feeling pretty confident. There's nobody out there. Not a soul for miles, and sound doesn't really travel either. No service. There's really hardly any service anywhere in Nevada once you leave the cities. As Mazzetti walks on 4 pitches. It brings up Griffin Brown's spot. He will bat for himself. So I go, I'm going to walk up a little bit closer and really see if I can look in there. Now, you really can't. There's a few scattered, smaller, unimportant buildings. So you can't find anything. There weren't any federal workers up there. But as I started to walk a little bit closer, this big military siren went off. What happens here? That ball got a piece of something. Brown seems to think it hit him. Is the umpire calling a foul ball? I guess it's saying it hit the knob. Now, granted, Brown did not act like the ball hit him. So it looks like no real argument. Mazzetti goes back to first. This big military siren went off, and then I thought I was done for. I thought I was about to get arrested at Area 51. I didn't break any laws, but perhaps I thought they didn't like that I got close. So for about 20 seconds as it went off, I'm looking around, and I don't see anybody coming, and then it stops, and then I go, thank God. And then I stayed there for about 2 more minutes, and then got in my car and drove off. Another group came in. Ball gets away from Thine to the backstop. A loud thud, actually, off the padding with the concrete underneath. Going to second is Mazzetti. Second wild pitch issued by Elijah Green, who's back out to work the 8th. He worked a scoreless 7th, despite some command issues. So I survived Area 51, and I'm pretty confident that I'm not a clone who was just sent in to take the original Evan Schmeizer's place. Pretty darn confident about that. I feel the same. I have felt the same for the past 2 years, generally, compared to how I felt before that. And I have no desire to go anywhere near Area 51 again, at least for a very long time. 1-1 the count to Brown, who doubled his last time up. And the pitch by Green, curveball in the dirt again. Now, the timeline between pig racing fairs was pretty similar, with me finishing the California Winter League a week after the Super Bowl, then doing the fair near Palm Springs, and then they made the event in Phoenix a 2-weekend event as Brown grounds it foul. And instead of going through Nevada, where there's just nothing there and no service, no radio, I took the Pacific Coast Highway to get up to Eugene, Oregon this go-round in March. Boy, that was amazing. That's a famous highway. I spent 3 days in Orange County, some of those neighboring towns. The curveball goes over Brown's head, 3-2. Spent a day in Laguna Beach, then the next day in Newport Beach, then one more in Huntington Beach. Then I started to steadily make my way up. But those 3 days, those beach towns were pristine. And I come from a beach town myself on the Jersey Shore, and it's a very nice one. The beach volleyball, rollerblading, great bike paths on the shores. That one's lined sharply into right, but right at Clay Jacobs. Was able to make the catch. So at least for now, the line of CornBelter guys hitting balls hard right at Lumber Kings does continue. Tyler Thompson will hit with 1 out in the 8th. Those were 3 magical days. Perfect weather. The water was actually pretty warm, so I got to go in a couple of the times. I got a good tan. The cliffs in Laguna Beach are insane. It's so beautiful. The houses, the ocean was a perfect shade of blue-green. So crystal. Inside 1-0. Then I spent the next better part of 8 or 9 days still going along Highway 1 and then 101 up California, then into Oregon. Beautiful. Absolutely stunning. I actually got to see an exhibition game between the San Francisco Giants and Oakland A's outside 2-0 the count. Sadly, of course, towards the end of that road trip, I was pretty burnt out. I did not enjoy that beautiful ballpark as well as I could have under normal circumstances. Part of that home-and-home exhibition right before opening day that the A's and Giants do. And it was actually the final game that Pablo Sandoval played. He suited up one last time and he got a hit. That was cool to see. A foul out of play, 2-1. Just a spectacular trip. Anybody who has the time allotted and the resources necessary, I highly recommend flying out there, renting a car, and doing at least some version of that road trip. You can skip Los Angeles County too. I can take it from me. Bouncer back to the middle, kicks off the leg of Green, and it slows up enough for the shortstop Peterson to pick it up and throw it to first. I mean, there's nothing you can do right there if you're Thompson. That ball was headed right for center field, but it grazed off of Elijah Green's leg just enough to slow up the roller, and then Ryan Peterson had enough time to pick it up and throw it to first. Mazzetti up to third, now 2 outs in the 8th. 1-6-3 on that put out. Letamendi the hitter. We live in a beautiful country, everybody. A beautiful country, and I've been blessed to see a lot of it over the past few years. With baseball and pig racing. About 20 national parks, been to 12 or 13 of major league ballparks. I'll head to Wrigley for the first time on July 4th. Pitch misses inside, but did they call a strike on the swing or the pitch? I can't tell, but the count moves to 1-1. Definitely skip Los Angeles County, though, on that road trip. I did have a great steak meal in Santa Monica, but other than that, you could skip it. Ground ball back to the middle. That's going to get in for a base hit. Mazzetti crosses the plate. RBI for Eddie Letamendi, and his string of hitting the ball well over the better part of the second quarter of the season continues. That brings up Thompson Allen. It's now 12-5. Belters now with 9 hits tonight, despite all the loud outs. 10 hits for the Lumber Kings. Tarek is 1 for 4 with a single and a run scored in the 5th. He's hit the ball hard, though. First pitch to him misses outside. There is a right-hander throwing in the Lumber King bullpen. Nobody up for the CornBelters, so we'll see Rogan come back out for the bottom of the 8th. California, Utah, Arizona, 3 amazingly beautiful states. As that one's cranked deep down the right field line, but it'll hook foul. Thompson Allen seemed to know that was going to go foul. He never put the bat down. Letamendi who made it all the way to third, will head back over to first. Lumber Kings leading 12-5. 2 outs in the 8th, a run across for the Belters. 1-1 the count to Thompson Allen. A long hold from Green now becomes set. Letamendi, who can fly, is leading off at first. And the pitch is popped up. It'll get out of play foul, though, over our heads. 1-2 the count to Thompson Allen. Breeze continues to flow lightly, coming in from left. They only have this one lone skinny flagpole in left field, and I have to look around a pole to see it. The 1-2 with 2 outs. Off the end about a looper, foul territory left side, and it'll get out of play. Ben Swales give it a look. So a pretty good at bat from Tarek Thompson Allen. He'll settle back in. Lumber Kings just 4 outs away now from pulling within a half game of the Pistol Shrimp. And the pitch. In the dirt, 2-2. It got away for a second from Thine. Letamendi doesn't try to advance. I'll pull that scoreboard back up. So a little score check. Rex Baseball just took down the Dans 2-1. So they pull, math, outside 3-2. Let's see if they give me the record. So they pull within 2 games. Yeah, that's right. They are 2 games now behind the Dans. So Rex Baseball still in a decent position. They're in a position where they could knock off the Dans, which would be a stunning collapse for Danville. And there goes the runner with the count full, and Thompson Allen takes outside. So the walk will extend the inning. Now first and second with 2 outs. That is the third CornBelter that Elijah Green has walked in an inning and 2/3. So he certainly has not been sharp. It brings up Will Flanagan. Flanagan's hit the ball hard throughout the night. He's hit the ball hard 3 times. Of course, the 2-run homer back in the 5th that initially made it a 3-run game. And it wasn't that long ago. It was only 6-4. Then you had the 5 spot from Clinton in the 6th. First pitch a little outside. See if Flanagan can hit a ball in a gap here, score 2. A gapper will easily score Thompson Allen from first. The outfielders are all playing deep, and the 1-0 pitch way inside nearly got a piece of Flanagan. So let's see, the pitcher and catcher in the Lumber King bullpen just standing and waiting. This could be the last hitter for Green. They'd like to get him through the 8th, despite the command issues. Here's the 2-0 pitch. That's in the air to left. Fairly well hit. Stark has it lined up. A few steps towards the line and in, and he puts it away. The CornBelters are able to score 1 on an RBI single from Eddie Letamendi. They leave 2. We'll head to the bottom of the 8th. The Lumber Kings leading 12-5. Back for the bottom of the 8th, ladies and gentlemen. 12-5. Clinton is our score. P.J. Rogan is back out to work the 8th. He's going to go left-handed with the leadoff man and a lefty Will Stark at the plate. First pitch out of the windup is a little outside. Stark had an RBI single his last time up. He also walked and scored, so he's 1 for 3. Rogan did allow an unearned run to come across in the 7th on a throwing error on his behalf. In the dirt, 3-0. Well, even just seeing now from, well, talking to Nick Roseman, actually, the bullpen coach, Rogan's stuff is very similar coming from each side as the pitch misses high. The scoreboard had 3-0, but I guess it wasn't. So not quite sure what the count is now. Should be 3 balls and a strike, perhaps. Obviously, the curveball goes in opposite directions as a strike is called. Stark ready to toss the bat aside. But the curveballs look very similar. The changeups, very similar too in the way the fastball goes. You'd hardly tell the difference if you were blind catching him, assuming you were still able to catch the ball. Hit foul at the plate. The count remains 3-2. His delivery looks very traditional and similar out of the windup on both sides. And the three-quarter arm slot also fairly succinct. The 3-2 pitch again. A liner foul. Look out by the Clinton dugout. Fortunate. The guy in the hole, Clay Jacobs, if it weren't for that little fence that separates the field of play from where the dugout starts, kind of an abstract line they have there, somebody might have gotten hit, and I think it would have been Jacobs. The 3-2 again. Check swing, called outside. The ball got away from Mason. So Stark does draw a walk. The walks now really starting to pile up for the CornBelter pitching. That's now the combined 7th walk issued by CornBelter pitching, the 3rd one from Rogan. Wilcox walked 3 in 5 innings, and Willard put a couple guys on a walk and a hit batter, but only getting it out. McHale didn't walk anybody in the 4 hitters he faced. Down and away 1-0 to Womack. See if Rogan can find his command again. Trying to get some work with the CornBelters trailing by 7. No outs in the 8th. A man at first. Up and in. And PJ did come off a fantastic freshman season, going 19 innings at Sacred Heart, pitching some important scoreless innings in the Northeast Conference tournament. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Up and away 3-0. Looked like that might have been the changeup. Rogan actually opting to pitch from the left side with the righty Womack. I don't think he's a switch hitter. Pretty sure Cougar Cook is the only switch hitter. 3-0 taken for a strike. And of course, this is one of those situations where PJ feels like he wants to get some extra work in throwing left-handed. He's going to try and do that. So I wonder what the pitch, I got to ask him, I wonder if the pitch counts with him are different as the 3-1 is fouled straight back. So do they have coaches, I guess, who have to monitor pitch counts from each side? Or if it's one of those things where at least, say, his coaches or most others look at if he were to go 100 pitches on a given day, say if 75 of them from the right side, pitch misses inside, ball 4. Back-to-back walks to start the 8th. There is a 10-run rule, if I remember correctly. Yeah, that's right, there is. So theoretically, the winning run is at the plate for the Lumber Kings. Billy DuBois out of the mound. There is someone loosening for the CornBelters. Obviously, we don't want to get 10-run ruled. Nobody wants that to happen. The entire infield coming in. Billy is gonna, let's see, there's nobody throwing now. I bet he's gonna take as much time as he wants. Now there are some flies, some unique flies to the region flying around the ballpark. They're called shag flies. That's right, they're shag flies. The Lumber Kings actually do a thing where certain nights every week, as the meeting concludes, they act as the Giants. So they are wearing their Giants uniforms tonight. And they, starting this year, they made their own Shag Flies uniform. My buddy Andre showed me the whole bit, even pulled up some pictures of Shag Flies. They are ugly creatures where you think they would have crept in deep in the underworld with Hades as the master. They're really hideous creatures. They like to hang out where there are lights. And if you look towards the lights, they are everywhere now. A strike call to the lefty Jacobs, 0-1. Left on left the matchup now with Rogan, the switch pitcher. Infield set to turn 2. No outs in the 8th. Up and away for a ball. I am grateful that none have thought about flying in the press box, because I prefer to keep the window open. Obviously, I'd have to close it if that were to be the case. They're hanging out by the stadium lights and even a couple of lights in the concourse as the next one is fouled away, 1-2. Great business idea. Wonder if there are any unique bugs native to Central Illinois. The cicadas? Might have to talk to Jarrett when I get home. See if we can come up with some kind of cicadas promotion. or at least merchandise. Upstairs 2-2. I'll take cicadas over shag flies any day. Now, Andres did not indicate that the shag flies bite. Oh, gosh, here's one. Whoa, that was close. I just closed the door in the nick of time as the next pitch is hit in the air to center. Pretty well hit. Thompson Allen is back, and he makes the catch. Stark will tag and head to third. There's a lot of room out there, 395, and actually plenty of room to make the catch. One away in the eighth, and that brings up Cougar Cook. So let's see. The last time the switch hitter and switch pitcher faced off, it ended up being a double play. And just like the last time, Rogan opting to go left-handed, so Cook will be a righty today, or this time. First and third with one out. Womack at first, Stark at third, and the pitch is outside. Andres not going quite as crazy as he did last time we had the switch hitter matchup, but he is loving it. I am too. Off the fist, out to shortstop, called out of the air by Letamendi, and he's going to have an easy double play as Womack went on contact. He takes it to the bag himself for a 6 unassisted double play. I don't know if Womack forgot the outs or if he just assumed that ball would drop. That retires the side in the eighth. Rogan able to work a scoreless inning. He's been around the strike zone. He's been very strong. Good stuff. We played 8 full. Last chance for the CornBelters coming up, trailing 12-5. We'll be right back. Getting set for the top of the ninth here on the Colonels Collegiate League YouTube. Second time that the CornBelter, that our broadcast setup has been on the road this season, so a privilege for that. This is going to become a much more normal thing, no pun intended, over the course of the second half. Make sure I adjust the inning here. I was able to get some information about the shag flies. Ian Dittmer is on to close the game, relieving Elijah Green, who went the previous two. Landon Johnson, Chase Mason, and Zach Zykowski will be the hitters. So I was able to get some information from Andres about these shag flies. They do not bite. The way their mouths are set up, they don't eat. According to him, they live for about 4 days and then die, and their purpose in life is to be food for fish, as we are right along the Mississippi River. First pitch up and away to Johnson, who does have 2 hits tonight. Yeah, that shag fly that was coming across from my left, that was trying to come in my window, I shut it right at the last second as it hit off the corner. He saw that same one coming across his way, and he shut his window at the same time I shut mine. 2-0 the count to Johnson now. Can't say enough just how solid Landon has been all summer. Really leading the way for what's been one of the better offenses in the entire Prospect League, because he swings and it's a high fly ball, short right center. Jacobs is on the run coming in, and he makes the catch. That's 2 or 3 balls now where Johnson had it lined up but just got under it. 1 out now, and Chase Mason. Actually, we have a pinch hitter coming up. Chris Sahusky will bat for Mason. Sahusky, the backup catcher out of the University of Illinois Springfield. Right on right, the matchup here. So the night for Mason done after with the Belters trailing 12-5. Wow, that ball got a piece of Sahusky way up high, right around the neck area. He's down on the ground right now. Billy's coming out. They're going to set a trainer out for him too. Chris is up to his feet, which is great to see. That ball got him way up high towards the helmet. The athletic trainer's out there to talk to him now. He put the helmet back on. So I don't know if this is a good or bad thing, but I don't know if that ball hit the helmet. I think that might have got him closer to the neck or perhaps even the middle of the shoulders. So Chris is walking towards first. Seems like this is actually going to be a really good sign. All right, so he is going to exit the game, not taking any chances. They'll send a pinch runner to first in his place. I'm hoping that, hopefully that didn't get him towards the higher head area. Danny Infante will pinch run with one out. So you just hope and pray that it's not a concussion, but really good sign to see him in a very short period of time pop back on his feet and walk into the dugout on his own accord. That was great to see. And of course, there's no way that's intentional from Dittmer. There's no rhyme or reason, and frankly, both relievers into the game have struggled with command for the Lumber Kings. First pitch misses up and in to Zach Zykowski. Zykowski has singled and scored twice tonight, 2 for 4. Lumber Kings are set up to turn 2 outs away from finishing off this would-be victory. The 1-0 pitch is swung on a miss. Snap throw to first. Infante dives back safely. Outfield playing very deep for Zykowski, respecting him, of course. Came into play 3 for 15. Good bounce-back night for him offensively after going 0 for 5 with 3 punch-outs 2 nights ago against the Dans. The 1-1 delivery inside, another snap throw to first. Oh, wow, the ball got a piece of Zykowski. Must have grazed his jersey. Of course, with my window closed, trying to keep the shag flies away from me. Not able to hear sounds like that. So it's now first and second with 1 out. Granted, in that process, the catcher Thine made yet another snap throw to first. Now, I have no idea, when you're leading by 7 in the 9th inning, why you want to pay so much attention to the guy on first, especially with making some snap throws. Andres next door to me, he gave the gesture. He has no idea either why. Pitch misses up high to Alex Mazzetti, who's batting for the second time tonight. Mazzetti walked after pinch hitting for Jeske, eventually came around to scoring the 8th. So second appearance for Mazzetti. He's looking for his first hit of the summer. Here's the 1-0 pitch from Dittmer, way outside. Well, and the Lumber Kings, they are going to send a couple guys out to their bullpen. There's one guy stretching with bands, and there's another guy who's jogging out there. Now, the guy jogging was Jack Turgeson. Able to see his number. Time is called, and we're going to have a meeting on the mound. And the Lumber Kings well in line to finish this one off, but it has been an adventure of trying to throw strikes between Elijah Green and now Ian Dittmer. The entire infield is in, and, well, a pretty short meeting, actually. Not really trying to stall time. There's nobody throwing yet for the Lumber Kings. And understandably, if you don't have to, you don't want to have to get somebody up. But if the CornBelters are able to get 2 more base runners, maybe 3, and say if the Lumber Kings don't get an out, then you pretty much have to get somebody up. Especially if Dittmer's pitch count starts to climb. Now Mazzetti awaits. 2-0 the count. Both runners lead off with 1 out, and the pitch is swung on and missed. A healthy hack from Alex. And now one of the 2 guys out there starts throwing. That is Jack Turgeson, who's just playing catch. Danny Infante at second, Zykowski at first. 2 hit by pitches with 1 out. And the 2-1 is a little outside. I'll give the home plate umpire Dom Umland credit. It's been a pretty tight zone, but he's mostly been pretty consistent, even with the score getting a bit out of hand. Now 3-1 to Mazzetti. And the delivery. Way inside. That nearly got a piece of Alex. Ball 4. The bases are loaded now with 1 out. 3 free passes after getting Johnson out to start the inning. Now Turgeson is throwing from the mound, and it brings up Griffin Brown. So potentially, if Ian Dittmer's not able to finish this one off, then, well, he might get the heave-ho. Brown has seen the ball very well tonight. He's doubled and walked. Bases loaded, 1 out, and a first pitch taken up high. So a bit of a very bizarre 9th inning, actually. Johnson flew out, then pinch hitter Chris Sahusky got hit by a pitch towards his neck and helmet area. He exited on his own accord, fortunately, as the 1-0 pitch is taken for a called strike. Danny Infante, the pinch runner at third. Then Zach Zakowski had a pitch graze off of him, and Alex Mazzetti walked. Brown awaits the 1-1. Dittmer out of the stretch, and he deals way inside, and that got a piece of Brown. It's going to force in a run, the 3rd hit batter of the inning, to go with now 4 free passes. It's a 12-6 game, and Jack Turgeson continues to throw in the bullpen. Dittmer came in, and a night where he was just looking to get some work, with it being initially a 7-run game, and he cannot hit the broadside of a barn. Well, time is called. Here comes Jack Dons, the manager. Pitching change coming here with 1 out in the 9th on the Colonels Collegiate League YouTube. Jack Turgeson in. All 3 runners are Dittmer's responsibility. I'll step aside to let him warm up. Welcome back, everybody. 12-6 with 1 out in the top of the 9th. Ian Dittmer out, Jack Turgeson into the game after Dittmer hit 3 batters and also walked a guy. A run is also in to score. Now, granted, still a long way to go for the CornBelters if they're really going to make a run at this. It's not a save situation quite yet. Turgeson out of Mount Mercy University in North Liberty, Pennsylvania, taking over. Only his 3rd outing, 5 2/3 innings, a 4.76 ERA. So Dittmer's line is going to take a beating as he finishes his warm-up pitches. Tyler Thompson will bat. He hit into a 1.63 double play his last time up. Also knocked in a couple runs on one a ground ball and a sac fly. The runners inch off, and a curveball's in there for a called strike. Jack Turgeson trying to finish this game off and move the Lumber Kings within a half game of the Pistol Shrimp to try and win the first half. Set out the stretch, and the 0-1 is lined out to right center. Jacobs has a beat on it. Tagging is Zykowski. He's going to come home. The throw goes to third. It's a strong one, but it gets away from Ben Swales. That would have been a bang play. Brown up to second, which will be an error on the right fielder, Clay Jacobs. A tough one, though. Zykowski crosses the plate. It's now 12-7. That was easily the strongest throw I've seen from any outfielder on any team that we've played this entire season. Jacobs threw a frozen rope on one hop that would have had, it would have had Griffin Brown at third. Zach Zykowski going to third. The pitch is outside to Eddie Letamendi. So the third RBI of the night for Tyler Thompson. It's now 12-7. A base hit here can make things pretty interesting. CornBelters down to their final out. Letamendi waits, and he takes a strike. Now 1-1 the count. Brown at second on what's the third error of the night. What should be the third error of the night for the Lumber Kings. Boy, Jeske would have been a dead duck. The 1-1 misses outside. Letamendi singled his last time up. He's 1 for 4. CornBelters trying to keep this one alive, trying to avoid losing their 4th straight. Here comes the 2-1 with 2 outs. Swing and a miss. 2-2 the count. CornBelters can smell it right now. There is somebody up in their bullpen. Turgeson 1 out away from finishing it off. Second and third, 2 outs. Letamendi awaits the 2-2. And the pitch, curveball, just misses outside. That didn't miss by much. But like I said, it's been a tight strike zone all night. So 3-2 the count. Letamendi trying to reach to bring Thompson Allen to the plate. 12-7. Turgeson set. Here's the 3-2. Upstairs, ball 4. That's going to load the bases again. How about this? Thompson Allen will bat. It's a 5-run game, and it is now a save situation. How about that? 2 runs have scored this inning. CornBelters have scored 3 unanswered. And this Clinton bullpen, granted, the bullpen struggled all season long, but it's a rough night for them. Thompson Allen swings and misses at the first pitch. He got a challenge fastball, and Thompson Allen was trying to make this a 1-run game. Thompson Allen, the 8th man to come to the plate, trying to get on base to bring Flanagan to the plate. The 0-1 popped up, left side, foul territory. Thine off with the mask towards the screen, and it's gonna go foul. There's not much room, like I've said before. So new life for Tarek Thompson Allen. That ball ended up right on top of the overhang. Now the count 0-2. Letamendi at first, Brown at second, Mazzetti at third. Turgeson trying to finish this one off. He set at the belt, out of the stretch. Here's the 0-2. Just outside. Thompson Allen took a half step back towards the dugout. That's 2 straight pitches. He's fortunate to stay alive. Can he get on base and bring Flanagan, the tying runner, to the plate? In a game that all of a sudden got very interesting. The 1-2 pitch again. Swung on and missed. Tarek Thompson Allen goes down swinging. Jack Turgeson able to come on, and he'll be credited with the save with the way this inning went. CornBelters put 2 runs on the board. They leave the tying run on deck. So the CornBelters drop their 4th consecutive game by a score of 12-7. The Lumber Kings came out hot early. CornBelters were able to answer back for a period of time, but then those 5 runs in the 6th, just way too much to try to overcome. 12 runs, 10 hits, 3 errors for the Lumber Kings. 7 runs, 9 hits, 1 error for the CornBelters. The Lumber Kings pick up a big-time victory on their end. With Illinois Valley's 2-1 loss earlier in the evening, they pull to within a half game as we're well within the final week of the first half. I'm Evan Schmeiser, ladies and gentlemen, from the Colonels Collegiate YouTube page and Nelson Core Field. So long for now. We'll be back tomorrow, starting at 5 o'clock, 2 7-inning games between these same Clinton Lumber Kings on the PLTV YouTube channel and the Corn Crib. Have a great night, everybody. We'll see you again tomorrow.